You're watching the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Now it's time for the Brandon Austen Show.
Woo! It just feels a little different for this one, Hamby. Joint practice. Stakes could not be higher. Bragging rights. Pride. And just putting out good tape right now is on the line. And listen, I don't want to over-exaggerate things or overhype things, but what you might see in the next couple of days may be the most important practices in Jaguars training camp. Welcome to the Brent Austen Show. Austen Lane holding down the fort while Brent Martineau is at practice right now. He'll be joining us probably within an hour. I'm going to be checking in with us hopefully in 20, 30 minutes about what he's seeing there. So I'm holding down the fort for a record third time in a row. Jason Hamby in the kids' corner joining the show as well, pushing all the right buttons, man. Good to have you as well. And Hamby, I mean, let's just start off with it. You know, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're in town, and I'm excited. As somebody who spent, I want to say, 3 years in training camps, training with joint practice teams, it's a big deal. And it's a big deal for a couple of reasons. I think number one, right now, and I get training camp has kind of been tailored to, for the athletes to kind of recover a little more, and it's not real two-a-days and all this stuff, but training camp is still grueling. Mm-hmm. It's mentally and obviously physically, it's still grueling. Now, would I have loved to sleep in the hotel beds like in Jacksonville and not in some dorm twin-size bed like I was in Kansas City and Chicago? Absolutely. But guys are still banged up, guys are still fatigued, and guys are still tired. And now you have a different team with different jerseys, different names that you get to go against in practice. Because one of the hardest things I always found about training camp, the heat sucked, obviously, and your body's sore, but it's having to go against the same guys every single day. It's having to go against Mercedes Lewis when I played, who was one of the best blocking tight ends of all time, and it makes zero sense how strong that dude was, and now he's almost got old man strength. He's been in the league for so long, but it's all right, I have to go against Mercedes every single day, has to go against Eben Britton every single day, and if you know anything about Eben Britton, we're cut from the same cloth, I push him after the whistle, he punches me in the face, he pushes me after the whistle, I punch him in the face, and that's kind of the relationship that me and Eben Britton had for a solid years, and nothing but respect for him, but that's just the way that it was. But when you bring another team to town, it's like I mentioned in the opening, it's almost like there's a sense of pride on the line, because now you don't want to be the guy in practice, you don't want to be the guy in goal line, the guy in one-on-ones, whatever the case may be, that looks bad. Mm-hmm. Because, there's added pressure because there's always the camera. We used to always say the eye in the sky doesn't lie. Mm-hmm. Right? And when we say that, it means the tape that you put out there is who you are. And we broke this down before. No, good practices aren't going to get you playing time in the regular season. But good practices will get you more preseason reps to maybe get you more playing time if you do well in those preseason reps. When you bring another team to town, though, the intensity goes up, it amplifies, and I'm really excited to see how this Jacksonville Jaguars team is going to respond to that. It's going to be a toasty day out there today, and it's not like Tampa Bay is not acclimated to the heat as well. I mean, both these teams are used to warm weather, so there's no excuses there. And I like this Bucs team. I like their offense. I think they have great wide receivers. They have a great, I don't want to say great, but I think a pretty damn good quarterback in Baker Mayfield. And their defense is nothing to shrug off either. So I think you're going to see two competitive teams going head-to-head here.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things where I believe we heard from Press yesterday, and he's saying, there's only so many times that I can watch Brian Thomas Jr. go against Ronald Darby.
Yeah.
They're just looking forward to him going against, Antoine Winfield or, whoever the Bucs have back there in the secondary. So I'm curious how joint practices is kind of molded over the years.
Yeah.
Because if I heard correctly, this is heavy contact for the lines especially, but quarterbacks are still not being tackled to the ground.
No, for sure. I mean, and listen, as I'm like almost like setting up like it's going to be a fight night, like it's going to be, it's going to be intense in the trenches for sure. But both coaches understand, whether it's Bowles, whether it's Peterson, both coaches know that the most important thing out of these sessions is to keep guys healthy, right? So no, you're not going to see guys, going to the ground in terms of quarterbacks. I don't even think you're going to see like the running backs really going to the ground. Okay. I remember like because we used to always go against Atlanta. Atlanta was our team, whether it was at Atlanta or whether it was in Jacksonville. And obviously we had a guy in Maurice Jones-Drew who at that time was one of the best running backs in the league. Mm-hmm. And, there was an unspoken, well, I don't say unspoken, but like we all knew that Mojo ain't going to the ground. Right, There's no sense to it. I mean, the guy punishes his body enough during the regular season. The last thing you want to see is him take unnecessary hits during practice. And even the Falcons knew that. So, like, Mojo wasn't going to the ground. I think wide receivers, I mean, I was in the trenches, right? So I couldn't speak on behalf of wide receivers and everything with Julio. But, like, I assume that wide receivers, while it's competitive one-on-ones, you're probably not going to go to the ground either. Okay. That's kind of how fights start. But in the trenches, it's live. Sure. And it's crazy. Like, if you watch preseason games, Hamby, like, yeah, guys are going hard and everything, but, do they go 110% if you're a starter? I mean, you like to think so, but, it's still the preseason. You're still getting acclimated. Believe me when I say that whether it was Terrence Knighton, Jeremy Mincey, myself, every single rep in those trenches, we were going all out. Because once again, and maybe this was just, our old coach, defensive line coach, Joe Cullen, maybe it was Jack Del Rio, but we wanted to get the best. Like, it was almost a game. It was almost a game to see, okay, we're going to go out there, do our thing. We're going to come back and watch tape. And when we come back and watch tape, we want to have more wins than losses. Right. That was the goal. And that should still be the goal till this day. Like, yeah, it would be a little easier than what we had it. And that's great. Keep players healthy and safe and all that stuff. But I guarantee the precedent's going to be set after this practice when the guys go back and watch this film. Doug Peterson, Ryan Nielsen, Press Taylor, position coaches are all going to be keeping track of, all right, who won more of the battles. Mm-hmm. I remember, and I can't remember this cat's name. This was my second year in the league, and I think Atlanta was coming to Jacksonville to practice with us. Because once again, like, for whatever reason, I don't know if there was some kind of connection there. Maybe like it was the old Atlanta coach might have been the defensive coordinator here in Jacksonville, if I'm not mistaken. And I can't remember his name now. Mike Smith? Yeah, Mike Smith. Yeah. So Mike Smith.
Old white hair.
Yep. I used to say that he had milk of magnesia hair. Yeah.
He was 08 to 14.
Yeah, okay. So that was the connection between Atlanta and then Jacksonville. And I remember my second year, Atlanta came to us. And once again, like, it wasn't Oklahoma drills, but like we had inside drills and everything. Mm-hmm. And I remember there was a rookie, maybe like a third or fourth stringer, tight end. Can't remember his name, but he was from Boise State. Okay. And the only reason why I remember him is because we had the same agent. And I remember my agent, because my agent kind of knew who I was and like what I was all about. And I remember my agent was like, hey, so-and-so's going to be there, take it easy on him. He's a rookie. He's still acclimating. Like, if you go against him, which you may not go against him, but if you go against him, take it easy.
Ryan Winterswick.
Bam, there it is. Ryan Winterswick, yes, exactly. Tight end out of Boise State. Thank you. So I remember Ryan. So it was like a 2-on-1 drill, right? So almost like a double team drill. Mm-hmm. So I'm playing defensive end. You have a tight end and a tackle in front of me. And lo and behold, I'm in my stance. 3-point stance, because back then we weren't standing up. I look up and, oh yeah, this is that kid that my agent was telling me about, Ryan. And I'm like, all right. And the ball is snapped. And Hamby, believe me when I say, once again, pride on the line. At home, we must protect this house. Believe me when I say that I drove that poor dude back 20 yards, as in the whistle blew. And keep in mind, like, it's a double team drill, right? So we're supposed to, like, all right, we take the tight end and then the tackle comes back on us. We have to go back to the tackle, right? Right. That's the drill. Well, I blew Ryan off the ball so bad, the tackle couldn't get to me, and I'm like, well, screw it. We're going backfield. So then I just pushed him, not exaggerating, pushed him 15 to 20 yards. Oh, my God. It's to the point, like, where coaches obviously, like, after, when we're watching the film, like, they rewound it, like, 25 times. We're laughing about all that stuff. But then my agent reaches out to me and goes, "What the hell? I thought I told you to welcome him and take it easy." I'm like, man, it's his joint practices. The things happen. But let me ask you this, Amby, and I think the answer is obvious here when we talk about what this is going to look like. Like, yeah, Tampa Bay's defensive line, pretty solid. Their offensive line, I mean, Tristan Wirfs, I think one of the best offensive tackles in the entire NFL. And when we talk about Tristan Wirfs and going against Joshua Hines-Allen, going against Trayvon Walker, like, I'll pay money to see those, one-on-one drills.
Yeah.
I'll pay a pay-per-view if I have to. But what are you trying to watch the most out of this joint practice? Because to me, it's obvious when we talk about Mike Evans and Chris Godwin going against this Jaguars secondary.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, the guy who's like, welcome, we really had to do our joint practices against the Buccaneers of all teams. It's probably going to be Mitch Morse because here's Vita Vea for 2 straight.
Good point.
That's I don't care how good Mitch Morse is. That's not fun.
Good point.
So I'll be interested to see. I'm sure we'll hear back of one-on-ones between Vita Vea and Mitch Morse. But I think the receivers is going to be a big one because. Mike Evans versus Tyson, we all remember the game last year. And I know that those 2 things, I don't care if you're a competitor, that carries over.
Yeah.
If you're the Jaguars secondary, I believe Mike Evans beat Tyson Campbell for a lengthy touchdown in that game. And obviously we got trounced.
Yeah, I mean, that game wasn't even competitive at all. And Tampa wanted, they could have hung a lot more on the Jaguars.
So they're thinking about that stuff today.
Sure. Yeah, that's not a bad point. I mean, and listen, you ask yourself, like, in the preseason game, how much is going to be carried from last season's game? And probably, you might bring it up, but probably not that much in the preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
But I guarantee at practice, yeah, like, I'm sure Mike Evans will say something. Now, don't get me wrong, Mike Evans, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, and I feel like he's a guy who's more just kind of calm, cool, collected, doesn't really do a lot of chirping, and I think that kind of costs him sometimes of why people don't consider him in the elite category in the top 5 wide receivers, because he's not doing the gritty and he's not doing all these things. Now, he'll fight Lattimore in New Orleans every once in a while and throw some fists, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's still going to linger from what Mike Evans was able to do last year, from what this Tampa Bay offense was able to do last year against this Jags defense. So yeah, that'll be something to watch as well. Like you mentioned, Vita Vea, we talk about underrated. I mean, I'm not sure if he's underrated or not, but from an interior player who they don't get talked about a lot, one of the best guys that there is. Mm-hmm. A guy that can do everything. A guy that big, that bulky, should not be able to move like he does. And that guy can run. So yeah, I'm going to be watching the interior as well. It's just, I get, like, if you had like a joint press with the Chiefs, that would have been beneficial because obviously that Chiefs offense is hard to stop. But like, I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in terms of a joint practice team, I think it's a great matchup.
Yeah.
I think it's a great matchup. I mean, we talk about the Ravens a couple years ago. They traveled to Baltimore, want to get some of that physicality, get some of those looks, and what does Baltimore do? Run the wishbone or whatever they were doing. Like they weren't showing anything. Mm-hmm. But I guarantee today, and once again, whether it's team, whether it's one-on-ones, you're going to see guys battling, and I can't wait for it.
One other thing that I'm sure our Action Sports Jacks team will touch on is John Wolford's back.
Yeah.
So because he's their trainer, I believe Bishop Kenny product. So that'll just be another cool angle to look out for. But also you have their secondary is real young, right?
Yep.
But everybody that believes is up and coming. Jamel Dean, like I mentioned before, Winfield. Who else do they have? They have another safety, Whitehead.
Yep.
Whitehead. And obviously our passing game did nothing against them last year. So on the other side, right, mm-hmm. Brian Thomas, okay, going up against, I mean, at this point, he's only seen a couple of professional DBs.
Yeah,
between our guys and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And so it's, not every DB is the copy-paste.
Yeah.
So, it'd just be interesting to see, how does he fare now seeing his second kind of second team of DBs, and Gabe Davis also. How does he take advantage? And the receiver battles on both sides will probably be the key in points.
No, for sure. And listen, when we talk about, because we think about Tampa Bay, and it seems like the past decade, I mean, they've been a pretty solid team. Obviously, when Tom Brady was there, it was different. But, they've always kind of had a solid defense. And as I look at this defense now, they still have some key pieces. Obviously, you mentioned Vita Vea is one of the best interior guys in the entire league. Levante David, who I think was playing when I was in diapers, I feel like, because the guy's been around forever.
Even Foye mentioned him.
Yeah, man.
I watch Levante David tape.
Yeah. So, with Levante David, he's been around forever. He's still doing the thing. Anton Winfield Jr., one of the highest paid safeties, more of that center fielder, that free safety. But their corners are a little bit younger, I believe, and a little more, unproven, I feel like. So it could be an opportunity for Brian Thomas Jr. and company to try to feast a little bit, gain some confidence. But you mentioned it started off. On the offensive side of things, you're watching the receivers, you're watching the big plays, you're watching the one-on-ones, cornerbacks versus wide receivers. But what you have to watch more than anything, I feel like, if you're a Jaguars fan, is can they run the football? All right? Can they run the football between the meat of this team with Vita Vea, and Levante David? Can they do that? Because, there was a from that first preseason game against the Chiefs, right? And don't get it twisted. A lot of great things. We broke it down yesterday. We broke it down on Monday. They were sound, not a lot of penalties.
Right.
Guys weren't, what do I do? It was a fundamentally sound game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's what you want to see. The coaching's getting through to these guys. Fantastic. But the biggest takeaway you can take in a negative standpoint was the ability to run the football. Because that's got to be your calling card. That's got to be your identity. You want to get Trevor some more confidence? You want to get Trevor in the elite conversation? Well, then run the football and set up play action. And when it was ones versus ones, and keep in mind, we talk about the ones for the Kansas City Chiefs, they didn't have all their ones on defense, okay? And they still look pretty good against that Jaguars run game. So that's what I'll be watching from the offensive side of the ball. And I'm hopefully we'll have Brent check in here in a little bit of, are they establishing the line of scrimmage on offense if they're the Jaguars? Are they getting that push? Are they getting that power run? Is Travis Etienne going between the tackles? We saw Tank Bigsby do it, but once again, that was more, twos and everything. We need to see the starters have their day. And against Vita Vea and company, it won't be easy. So that's what I'll be looking for on the offensive side of the ball to see if they can actually hold their own against a pretty solid Tampa Bay defense.
Yeah, let's take a look here. The Buccaneers are in white, and they look to be stretching out on the left, and I think we're about to get going here.
Okay. Because I'm going to be honest, all I see ants, Hamby. I can't tell anything from this. What do you want me to do, Hamby? You want me to be like, oh, yeah, okay, so we got here. Jaguars looks like, I think they're in a nickel right now. Can't tell who the running back is. It's a little hard to tell, but yeah, Jaguars stopping them. Yeah, dude, I can't tell anything from this. But it's pretty cool that we have this Sky Cam at our disposal. But yeah, we're waiting for Brent Martineau to check in here, and I think we have some more video coming up later too. We can show, right, Hamby?
Yeah, we'll have some. Not too long. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right, Hamby. So then, give me your prediction when Brent checks in with us. Because I assume he's probably not going to listen to the show right now. I feel like he's at practice. He's doing his thing.
He's dialed.
He's dialed in. Yep. He has no time for the Brent Austen Show right now. So with that being said, as we go to break, what's going to be the thing that Brent mentions first?
I'm going to go with the reunions. Or reunions of guys, who have been on that team or they've been on this team and coaches or something like that.
Okay.
And then I'll go to... Well, I'm saying that because I know there could be an obvious answer from a tweet that he just put out.
Okay, I didn't see it.
That would be cheating, so I'm not using that.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to say it's going to be something, because, we all got our goggles on.
That's true.
So I'm going to say the first thing he's going to say is, man, I'm going to say that Gabe Davis had a nice 40-yard catch or something like that, one-on-ones.
Dang.
But, I mean, We may not even get to that point yet because it's still early in practice. But if we get there, I'm thinking like, oh, Trevor had this nice throw with Gabe Davis, maybe against a more improved secondary of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But hopefully we'll get Brent here momentarily when we get back here. Brent Austen Show.
Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one-card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One-card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Oh man, it is that time. I love being outside, but it is just so hot. Oh my gosh, I cannot be outside. Well, you know, it doesn't have to be. As a matter of fact, I've got the perfect solution for you to be able to stay outdoors and not look like this guy.
GW Outdoor Solutions has the solution that will help you create areas of shade with their automated retractable awning. As the summer months inch closer, the high temperatures will be right there too. With GW Outdoor Solutions, go from scorching to cooling in no time with one simple push of a button. These innovative shade solutions not only provide protection from the sun and rain, but also add style and functionality to your home. Let GW Outdoor Solutions transform your backyard into paradise. Check out GWOutdoorLiving.com for your free estimate.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%. You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer. You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
It's hard to put a price on comfort, especially when you use that comfort on a daily basis. But if we're going to put a price on it, how does the lowest price guaranteed sound? Furniture Source is going to have the biggest brands, whether it's Ashley, Casper, or Tempur-Pedic, and once again, it's going to be the guaranteed lowest price in Jacksonville. Right now, my friends at Furniture Source are going to give you the ultimate hookup because all month long, they're making their inventory wholesale price. Check out their markdowns up to 50% off. And remember, since it's Furniture Source, you're getting the guaranteed lowest prices in Florida or your money back. Don't have the cash on you right now? It's no worry. Shop endless options to suit your style and budget and enjoy 36 months off with no interest financing. Why use your money when you can use theirs? Whether it's beds, couches, tables, or chairs, Furniture Source is going to have exactly what you're looking for. Shop the lowest prices in Jacksonville guaranteed. Find the location nearest you at FurnitureSourceJacks.com.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoldCityAC.com. And they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at BoldCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Got some Jaguars wide receivers there, and yeah, I call Evan Ingram a wide receiver too because the dude's ripped and can run like one. A noticeable absentee though at practice today being talked about is Christian Kirk, who is in street clothes, will not be practicing today. No word on if it's an injury or Veterans Day off. They don't want to throw too much at him. Hamby, what do you lean to? Because I'll say this. Like, we know that the ones aren't going to be playing probably at all, Saturday night. Do you think it's more of just a Veterans Day off, or do you think there's, maybe just something lingering with Christian Kirk?
No, I think it's a lot more of speculation, but I'll lean day off because obviously they're not, and rightfully so, they're not up and forward with too much.
No, they're not saying anything. Yeah, correct.
But I feel like we probably would have had something if we thought it was anything more than just a day off or So
yeah, I lean towards a Veterans Day off. He seemed to be good spirits there. It's hard to tell from a 10-second clip and everything. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that to see what we hear about Christian Kirk. But also, listen, my finger has been on the panic button for a while regarding one player, and I'm happy to say that finger is now lifted off the panic button, Hamby. Because, and this is, multiple reports, multiple Jaguars beat writers, including Brent Martineau retweeting it, I believe, last night. But Eric Armstead has been activated off the PUP list, and he will be back for the first time to start camp, I believe, today. Now, I haven't seen any video of him yet working on. I'm not sure in what capacity he's going to be training today, but the fact that he's off the PUP list is a good sign for week 1 against Miami that he should be back in full force. That's great news, Hamby.
That's phenomenal. We would kind of it was like fingers crossed the whole time because, we were kind of getting concerned there that he missed the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
But obviously now he's not only back, but he has ample time to get ready. Now, I'm not sure if they'll trot him out there today. I wouldn't be surprised if he just does a lot more side work.
Yeah. I assume they're probably going to ease him back into it. We have the comments. Eric has been ruled out today from Duval Jags. Yeah, I'm not sure that's 100%, but I assume so. You're not just going to, hey, Eric, welcome back. Here's an Oklahoma drill. Go have some fun. Wirfs. Yeah, here's Tristan Wirfs, exactly. No, they're going to ease him back into it, but the fact that he's off the PUP list is a good sign. And listen, we were 5 minutes to midnight with my finger on the button just because when Doug Peterson came out and said, yeah, could be a week, could be a couple weeks. It wasn't really descriptive of how long the dude was going to be out for. But the fact that, he's back now, that's a great sign for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's just a matter of where is he going to fit in. Obviously he's going to fit in as a starter. But we've heard rumors, will he be a defensive end? Will he be an edge? Will he be a defensive tackle? I want to see him play a 3 or a defensive tackle or a 4-eye if we're talking about, that hybrid 3-4-5-2 look. I don't want to see him on the edge. If I see Eric Armstead on the edge, guess what? Fingers back on the panic button. All right?
Or sleep.
Or what?
Or we're going to sleep.
Or we're going to sleep. Or I'm sleeping on it. Yeah. Sorry. Wrong way. Or I'm going to sleep on it. I think interior needs the most help right now. I think Eric Armstead is a great interior player, and I would love to see him there. Yeah. So listen, hands off. We're just chilling right now. Right? It's there, but hands are off. But the minute I see Eric Armstead on the outside, guess what? We're hitting it. We're hitting it nonstop. And okay, let me ask you this question, Hamby. Where it sits right now with this Jaguars defense, this defensive line, And it's going to be two separate questions because you're going to have a base answer here, and then you're going to have obviously like an edge rush, like they can call it NASCAR, they can call it lightning, but basically a pass rush special from those front 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the base will look like in terms of starters right now? We know. And then what would, like, ideally, who would you want to see be the starting 4 or 5, once again, depending what the defense looks like in terms of like that NASCAR, that lightning, that pass rush package? So, like, for instance, the base. I want to see Eric Armstead in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, we can call it, Devon Hamilton, whoever wants to take up, that nose tackle spot.
Right.
And then obviously it's Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker on the edge. I think that's the most obvious thing. Now I get maybe you want to move Trayvon down, but in a base package, the edge is still a premium, and I don't care how much weight he's gained. Go and give me Trayvon Walker on the edge doing his thing. What do you got?
Yeah, I think if we're running 4,
yes,
then see what I'll be interested to see is how much they play Devon third downs.
Yeah,
I'll be interested to see that. And just in general, his snap count.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I wouldn't expect to see Devon a lot
right
on 3rd and longs.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's auto then.
But I'm saying in base you will. Like if it's 1st and 10, Devon Hamilton should be out there.
Right. So if Armstead is in there in 3rd down, then with Trayvon and Josh, then the question is who is the 4th guy?
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
So I think that's the question mark, because you still have to have probably more a guy with his hand in the dirt, unless you're two in a 4, you're two inside where Armstead and Trayvon with Josh and Trevis, standing up.
Yeah.
So I think it's the interior pass rush of Armstead. That's why we've talked about it. I mean, we've probably talked about it at nauseum over this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Is just how much we think that can give to Josh Allen and Trayvon.
Yeah.
On the outside, because that's something we have not had for a long time.
Well, that's something that a lot of teams can claim, and this has been my biggest argument of why you would move why you move Trayvon Walker on the inside, because you can't name a lot of teams that have 2 certified edge rushers.
Mm.
Like, and when I say certified, I mean dogs,
Yeah,
dudes, elite, whatever you want to call them. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. 10 sacks should be the benchmark of good or great. I understand that. But, like, Trayvon looks like he's well on his way to figuring everything out.
Yeah.
Where he will get a new contract. He'll get paid, assuming that he can keep on that progression this season, and knock on wood, he can stay healthy. But then I wonder if some of that production goes to the wayside a little bit if he is the interior. Like, yeah, there's plenty of interior guys that can still get sack production. I understand that. Just ask Campbell back in 2017. He had no trouble getting quarterback sacks. But I wonder with what they asked Trayvon Walker to do this year, if the sack production goes down a little bit, if we're talking about these special pass rush packages, and now Trayvon's on the inside. Maybe it benefits him. I mean, a 3 technique inside, it's easier to get to the quarterback. It's quicker, but there's a lot more chaos when you get double teamed with the center. So I'm very curious to see with that. But why I bring up this question is a video that we posted last night that's got some traction this morning even, and it's concerning Devin Lloyd, where I came out and said, I'm not the biggest fan, at least from preseason game number 1. Now, things can change, and I'm not sure if he'll be playing against Tampa or not, but things can change. But I didn't like what I saw from Devin Lloyd playing middle linebacker. I thought Foye Oluokun is definitely more suited to be playing that. What I could envision, and once again, a lot has to go into this, but you talk about a guy like Micah Parsons in Dallas, where coming out of college, it was obvious he was going to be a beast wherever you put him, right? He ran the 40 and whatever, 4.34, whatever it was. Yeah. Crazy time. And he had some pass rush acumen even in college, but the question was with Micah Parsons is where do you put him? You put him on the inside where he's kind of usually playing, or do you take that athleticism and go, man, we think we can make a dominant edge rusher out of this guy?
Right.
Well, what does Dallas do? They put him on the edge. And right now, one of the best outside linebacker edge guys in the entire league. I'm not calling Devin Lloyd a Micah Parsons by any means. But I'm saying that the athleticism, I think, is there. I think the set to rush the passer is there. And I wonder how much we're going to see that, whether it's base or nickel, if we're talking about Devin Lloyd being the middle linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you blitz him every once in a while, and he can do that as well. But why not take a shot? Because, once again, preseason game number 1, I didn't see a lot to like from him playing middle linebacker. Why not take a shot then and try to make him like you're almost like your Micah Parsons?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those where I feel like there might be too many question marks. Where at this point, you're like, okay, well, we know we can what he was last year, and we think we can make him 10% better.
Yeah.
There, or for example, if he was just throwing this out there, a 75 overall.
Okay. Bad terms, I like it.
We can make him an 80.
Sure.
And we know that is well within reach. If we keep him in the same kind of role that he's in and just don't set him on the outside, because then we really don't know.
Well, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
And I don't think I don't know which one is right, but I feel like that could be some of the thinking and the rationale is that, you can never have too much edge pressure, but at the same time, we got guys there. So,
no, Hamby, you do have guys there, but you can never have too many guys there.
I know,
and when you put Devin Lloyd on the edge and he can get after the quarterback, that gives you a different wrinkle.
Of course.
And I feel like I get disciplined, fast, pin your ears back. But this defense will have some wrinkles as well. We saw that against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this is more of the 2s and the 3s, but we saw that when they had a 52 or a 3-4, however you want to put it, because it's essentially the same thing. But they used 5 rushers. And this wasn't just out of one, special formation that Kansas City had. They had that the entire time. I mean, that's how Yasir Abdullah got his sack. Right. He was the edge guy in a 5-man rush. And it wasn't out of a blitz. It was just you had 5 essentially defensive linemen getting after the quarterback. So I just think that, and listen, and you know how I feel about Ryan Nielsen. Dude's probably going to be a head coach one day.
Yeah.
I think he's that talented. I think he has his finger on the pulse of the modern NFL player, and I think his defense, I mean, we've seen it in training camp. We saw a pretty good deal of it in the first preseason game. I think they could be the real deal this year. But the only question I have so far, and listen, I don't know everything, but what I do know is that Foye Oluokun last year wasn't an issue at middle linebacker.
Right.
And I think if you take Foye Oluokun's numbers from last year, his tackles from last year, and you put him on a team that goes to the playoffs, on a team like the Ravens or a team like the Chiefs, maybe we're talking about a Pro Bowler / All-Pro because he had the numbers to back it up. It just happened to be like, all right, you play on the Jacksonville Jaguars. They underachieved towards the end of the season. Your numbers are great and everything, but yeah, it's the Jaguars. You guys aren't going to the playoffs. Not going to get all the accolades there. We'll give it to Josh Allen. He's good, but everything else, it is what it is. So I don't think there was an issue last year at middle linebacker with Foye Oluokun.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, and we're talking about, okay, Foye, you go to the outside. Devin Lloyd, you go on the inside. I guess I just need to see more of it, Hamby, because right now I don't understand the vision.
Do you think so? Here's the classic thing with new coaches, and I'm gonna say this knowing that this is the natural thing to do, is there's tendencies to make changes because you want to put your stamp on things. And I do not know that this is the case, and we'll obviously see how this plays out. But all I'm going to say is I hope this is not an example of Nielsen overcoaching. Because, again, he came in and he's going to say we're going to evaluate everything, and obviously he's doing what he believes is best for the football team. But there are always things that coaches do when they're taking over where they want to make changes because they want to make changes.
Yeah.
That's just a thing that we all do because we don't want to do copy-paste from what they did last year. And I'm just hoping that that's not the case, that Nielsen is, this is truly something that he's evaluated, believes that Devin Lloyd is the better option and is going to be a good 17-week good football player.
Yeah.
And I think that's just as much the thing here, because we've seen Devin Lloyd be a 4-week good football player.
Dude, we've seen the potential.
Yeah.
Causing turnovers and everything, interception. Like, we've seen the potential of Devin Lloyd. So that's why, to me, and I'm not saying I'm frustrated, but this is why I'm kind of questioning a little bit.
Sure.
Because how many times do we have to play this story out the past decade here in the Jacksonville Jaguars? How many times are you going to take an edge rusher, move him inside? How many times are you going to take a guy in Taven Bryan and like put him in a position that he's not comfortable with? Dante Fowler, same thing. Caleb on Chase on, say, like, how many times do we have to go through this story? Now, I give Ryan Nielsen the benefit of the doubt. Like, I don't think Ryan Nielsen has the ego where it's going to be like, I can take any player, put him in the spot, great coordinator, it'll work out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's like that. There's a lot of coaches that are like that, but I don't think Ryan Nielsen's one of those dudes. Like, I truly think, and once again, it's all just words until we can see action, but I truly think that Ryan Nielsen tries to set his players up for success.
Mm-hmm.
The only question I have is when you have a guy who came out of Utah where everyone was ranting and raving about his pass rush capabilities, where everyone was raving about his athleticism and his speed and his fluidity, why put that at the middle linebacker spot?
Yeah.
Because when we talk about athleticism, when we talk about pass rushing, when we talk about speed, middle linebacker is kind of the last spot that you think about.
Yeah.
You know, middle linebacker, it's the instinct, it's the football IQ, it's getting guys lined up properly. Now, that's still going to be Foye's job because he's running the green dot, but it's so cerebral. Like, you want to talk about Puz, Paul Puzzlesny.
Yeah.
One of the best middle linebackers I ever played with. Mm-hmm. And I played with some great ones. I played with, and he wasn't middle, but like Lance Briggs, Chicago. Another great linebacker.
Oh, yeah.
Derek Johnson.
Lance Briggs, his football court.
Derek Johnson. And I almost got in a fight with Lance Briggs the first day of practice. I'll tell you that. Remind me to tell you that story later.
Okay.
Derek Johnson, Kansas City. Like, I play with some great linebackers now.
Georgia.
Oh, there you can see. There's another Georgia boy for you.
I think.
But the great thing about Puz, and yeah, obviously, man, the dude was like chiseled from stone, and like dude was made to play middle linebacker. But the IQ, Hamby, the IQ of always being in the right spot at the right time. Like, yeah, was Puz gonna blow your doors off in a 40-yard dash? Probably not. Was he gonna set the world on fire with an L cone drill or a shuttle? Probably not. But when you're in the huddle and someone's calling it and someone's trying to like what the offense is gonna do, there's no man you wanted more than Puz because the IQ and the mentality was there. I get that same vibe with Foye Lukin.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm going to put a bow on this and we can wrap it up and go to someplace else. But once again, I'm going to be watching very closely. And to me, we talk about the save, the nickel back, everything, and that's going to be the big story on this defense. The big story to me is going to be what the plan with this linebacking core is. Because you have Chad Muma now who seems to have maybe figured it out a little more, who's going to be competing for playing time. You have Foye, who's been nothing but dependable wherever you put him, and I assume if he's playing outside, he'll still be dependable.
Right.
But then how does Lloyd fit in this equation?
Yeah. Real quick before we do wrap this up, I'm seeing from training camp, Brian in the chat, Brian Thomas ran a filthy route and scored a touchdown. That's from Kailana and Josh, and JJ Howie says the same thing. That was on an out route, 7-on-7s. I just saw a clip.
Okay.
I'm not sure I'm allowed to show it, so I won't until give
yeah,
permission.
just go ahead and show us the ants again so I can break some of that down. Go ahead. Keep going, Henry.
I'm just playing.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Yep, there's Brian Thomas Jr. down the edge, looking good. Fast.
So 7-on-7 drill. Brian Thomas on the outside, runs a quick out.
Yeah.
Ball right on his ear.
Nice.
Good separation. It was against 27, which I just looked up. That was Zion. Where'd he go? Zion McCullum.
Okay.
Looks like a starting corner.
Starting cornerback. And I assume Trevor threw it, yeah?
Yeah, it was Trevor.
Love to see it.
And then this from Duraco.
Give me Gabe Davis one. Come on.
He says Brian Thomas getting treatment on his left hand, came off field after catching TD pass from Trevor Lawrence in 7-on-7. Fingers taped up. Looks like he's going to return.
He's back in there. Hamby, you don't even say it then. Don't, man. The hell are you doing? You can't go, he goes out, but then he goes, just say, and by the way, he had a nice touchdown, and he got his fingers taped up. That's all you had to say.
All right.
Didn't have to say, oh, he's getting medical attention. Like, come on, man.
No.
Oh, come on, man. All right, dude. Well, hey, come on, man.
All right, fine. Look at the ants.
There's the ants. The finger's off the panic button, okay? So we're good. Let's go to break. Do we have word from Brent? I see he's texting us. I can't read the text message or the show at the same time. Do we have Brent coming back after this break?
Most likely.
We'll see, I guess, is what we're going to say there. Here's our exclusive Brent Austen practice shot here at the field today. Ooh, Tank Bigsby with a nice run right there.
Bruh.
I don't know. Can't see anything. Waste of time, waste my energy, but we'll keep showing it because, well, it's all we got right now. Hopefully we got Brent Martineau coming in to give us some real feedback, some real video. We come back here on the Brent Austen Show.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service, a meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
For the game day hustle and every day in between. Juggling my show, Jag Social, to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive your passion.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242. You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing. Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Right now, get 10% off any residential job of $500 or more. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
At Southampton, local golfers have no shortage of options when it comes to picking a course to play here in Northeast Florida year-round. Yet time and time again, I find myself here at the golf club at Southampton. Easy to get to off 210 in St. Johns County. It's family-owned and operated and renowned for being one of the area's most player-friendly. That's just one of the reasons we hold the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18 charity golf tournament here each fall. The Mark McCumber design layout is great for all skill levels of golfers, from the guys who bomb it a mile on the range to golfers like me who are just happy to put it in the fairway, which Southampton has very accommodating fairways. And if you need new clubs, come down to the pro shop. They'll fit you up and get you a nice new set like they did for me. For more information on membership or to book a tee time and see for yourself, head over to golfsouthampton.com or call the clubhouse at 904-287-7529. The Golf Club at Southampton. It's the official home of the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18. Make it your home for golf too.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to String Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to String Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
And there's a look at the ants. I can't see anything. I mean, I see some white, so that must be Tampa. See some tealish, that must be Jacksonville. But that's about it. But hey, why look at ants when we can get recollection of the real thing, Hamby? I think we have some recollection of the real thing going live right now. You said, did he just...
He just dropped.
Trying to keep it professional. Trying to do a job. Trying to keep the car on the road, the train on the tracks, if you will. Had Brent, lost him. Wi-Fi, I don't know. He's texting me. I don't understand. Yep, panic button, and I'm sleeping. First time ever. First time ever on the Brent Austen Show of what? We've been around for
6 months?
6 months. I can't, because, hitting the panic button, and I dozed off at the same time. That's how I feel about this show right now. Hopefully we'll get Brent back momentarily, but I have seen video of I assume it's the BTJ touchdown?
Mm.
And how long was it, did you say?
They're doing red zone drills.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, I would call it a 10, 15-yard out route to BTJ. Still a great catch. We have, I guess, Trevor Lawrence so far in the red zone stuff, and this is coming from John Shipley, who's been on the show before. Love John, and John does great work.
You good now?
Talking to me or talking to... Okay. So we got Trevor Lawrence, 4 for 5, 3 touchdowns in 7 on 7. 4 for 5 and 3 touchdowns. Sam, you taking that?
Taking that all day?
You ready to call that elite?
Well, I mean, it's red zone work, so...
I mean, it is red zone work, but, it's still... Hey, it's better than throwing 3 touchdowns to Dewey, like we saw in the past. All right, I think we got Brett now. Maybe he can recap that BTJ touchdown and other things going on. Brent, how we doing, man?
We're good, man. Spirited workout so far here for the Bucs and the Jags, which is nice. Pleasantries before practice, and then maybe they'll get into it a little bit as we go over these next couple of days. But the 7 on the red zone work there that you were just talking about was pretty good. I thought it was really good. Gabe Davis actually several nice plays and routes already. Trevor Lawrence to Parker Washington. Wait until you see that video. It's NFL films like on the iPhone. I will share it with you soon enough. And then what else? Evan Ingram in the back of the end zone. Then I thought he put one in danger trying to find Seth Williams that maybe went through a defender's hands in the corner of the end zone. That could have been like one of those 100-yard pick six returns if it was caught. So I didn't like that part. But overall, pretty good work by the offense, I think, in that red zone area. Mostly on air, of course, right? With just receivers against the defense.
Have we had an opportunity yet to see the receivers of the Bucs do their thing? Obviously, you talk about Mike Evans, Chris Godwin going against Tyson Campbell and company. Definitely an opportunity for some guys to shine against this talented wide receiver group, the Buccaneers. You see anything from them yet?
Well, I got to be honest with you. They're on the other field, so I didn't lock in on them. These guys were right in front of us. We'll have video of that because we've got a couple of cameras out here. I did get some cheers from the crowd, but that could be some Bucs fans that made the trip here too, or locally, or maybe even from Orlando. So I don't know who that part favored, the defensive side of the Jaguars or the offensive side of the the Bucs. So, but the Jags definitely on the offensive side did their thing against the Bucs defense, I would say.
Have you seen, I mean, has intensity kind of ramped up now, doing these joint practices? Is a little more pride on the line, are you feeling?
Yeah, I think what's interesting about it is, at least from the times I've been out here, and, we've got our show most of the time, so I haven't been out every session of camp. But, I think one of the nice things is this thing started right from the rip, after the pleasantries. It was pretty intense or amped up or high energy right from the get-go, and they gave us that period that actually we could shoot and get some video of, which we'll show you a little bit later. So that was nice. You could feel the energy really beefed up with these two teams in town, which the way it should be. Pretty good crowd. But yeah, that energy is for real. And here's the thing, I've covered enough of these joint practices. You've participated in them. It's going to just continue. It's hot. And a little bit later on in the session, when they do this again, it will ramp up a little bit more. And then tomorrow will be ramp up a little bit more. And that's the day where you kind of get some guys maybe a little bit testy and angry and grumpy and cranky, is on Thursday. So yeah, I think it's off to a really nice start, in terms of an intensity and ramped up practice session.
Do we have word on Christian Kirk? Is it just a Veterans Day off? There's some sort of lingering injury. What's the word about Christian Kirk right now?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mystery. Marcel saw it first, and then so I got some video, and it was before practice. Like Ingram usually gets a lot of work in practice before to warm up. He's the first one out here. So he didn't have any of his stuff on yet either, but he had got a sweat going. Christian Kirk looked totally different, had the hat on, no shoulder pads, and he's not practicing today. So we don't know what that is. I don't know if we'll get word what that is exactly. The Jags are pretty quiet this time of year on injuries. They don't have to report a whole lot on the injury front. And so we'll see if we get an update after practice. But now everybody out here is pretty aware that Christian Kirk isn't practicing. He did practice yesterday. He did play on Saturday night. So, it didn't look like anything serious. He's not limping around, doesn't have a boot on, he doesn't have any kind of dressings on his, hands or arms or anything like that would indicate an injury to a certain part of the body. But it's pretty noteworthy that he is not practicing. The other thing is Eric Armstead off the pup. He's not going to practice. He's going to do walkthrough stuff. They'll slowly build him back into it. They are not going to rush him. They know what he can do this time of year, Austin. With a guy that's 30 years old, they're not concerned about this time. They want to have him ready for September. So he'll slowly acclimate back in. The other thing that I find a little bit interesting today, I don't know if you've seen this bouncing around on social media, but Mac Jones definitely getting the second reps today, which could indicate that he's going to be the first guy in on Saturday against the Bucs when Beathard and him split it. But Beathard, was the second guy in on Saturday night. So far, at least in practice, Mac has been the guy in right after Trevor Lawrence.
So you mentioned, obviously, I think we talked about it a little bit on the show. Starters not really expected to go for the preseason game on Saturday, so they're getting the work in now. It's a full padded practice today. Is the expectation for tomorrow as well, then having Friday be that rest day? Is the expectation for tomorrow to go full pads as well, or are we going to see more shells tomorrow?
I don't know that, but I got to believe it's full practice. I think there were a couple light days on Monday, Tuesday overall coming off the game, which is appropriate. And then I think you're going to get what we're seeing here today, tomorrow again. And maybe even more physical work tomorrow, because my guess is Tampa's doing the same thing. They're not going to play their guys. So why not, at least with some of the ones, be able to get some live action, maybe for a few snaps here or there. I think we saw that last year in Detroit under the same situation in this week 2 of the preseason. So I would anticipate that being pretty similar, Austin. Now, the one thing I'm interested about, we got 90 guys on this roster. I don't know if all, what would you count, 25 or 30 guys as starters or very high in the rotation players. I think some of those guys are going to play a little bit. I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. will he play? What about some of the offensive linemen that were out, last week? Will they get some game reps? It'll be interesting to see how Doug manages this. And I think some of that will be based on how guys come out of practice here today and tomorrow going into the weekend.
I like that, man. And one last question. We're talking about this to start the show off of things that we're going to watch for during these joint practices, and it's really the Jaguars' identity that they kind of fix a little bit from that first preseason game. Have you seen any of the team run yet? Have they not done that yet in terms of a pretty stout Tampa Bay interior with some pretty good linebacker play as well, where it could be kind of hard to run the ball? Have you heard anything about the Jaguars' offensive line so far and their ability to run the football today?
Well, I just saw Tank Bigsby go through a nice hole, and then he put the ball on the ground after the play had blown dead. I think the Jags players have to go through that whistle a little bit more with the football. Parker Washington the other night, Tank Bigsby right here, but the whistle had blown, so it wasn't like it was a fumble, but still, you don't like to see the ball come loose at any time. So exactly what you're talking about we're seeing right now with Mitch Morrison there, Anton Harrison back at practice at the right tackle spot, Ezra Cleveland. I think I just saw out there Ezra Cleveland at left guard. Yeah, I did. Cam Robinson and, of course, Brandon Sheriff. So they are doing those runs right now. That run game work is being done right now against, like you said, a pretty formidable front in the Tampa Bay Bucs. One note, in the red zone, you just sparked my memory a little bit as we got a nice throw over the middle to Evan Ingram there. But Brenton Strange beat Levante David in the back of the end zone on one of the plays. So that was good to see. Strange has been pretty quiet this camp. Had that one play over the middle on Saturday night that C.J. Beathard couldn't connect on him. I think people want to see more from Brenton Strange, and that was a good moment for him early in this practice. And another good pass over the middle to Ingram right there that we can't show you right now, by the way. That's why you're not seeing any of it. So, yeah, all in all, pretty good.
Use our imagination.
Good working. We've seen Evan Ingram catch a pass over the middle before, right? Like 114 of them.
Yeah,
last year,
I can kind of visualize that what that looks like. I think we'll be all right.
Hey, Brent, we were talking earlier about the game last year, 30-12. Tampa kind of destroys us. Can you keep your ear to the ground and see if that you can hear any conversations? One-on-ones. You got to believe that, like Mike Evans and Tyson Campbell remembers that very fondly.
Well,
and Austin was kind of saying, maybe that wouldn't have shown itself as much just on Saturday if they were just coming for a preseason game. But the fact that there are 2 joint practices, they're here Friday and Saturday, there's got to be some weight to that.
Well, and I will say this. There's a really nice video going around right now on Twitter with Tyson Campbell having a nice pass deflection against Mike Evans in the end zone. So there's some things I like from that video.
Yeah, and listen, I think that's a good point by you guys. And honestly, my head wasn't there just because you kind of flipped the script, new year, and this is practice, not really a regular season game. But, to me, that Tampa game, not just because of Mike Evans and Tyson Campbell, which becomes maybe a little bit more personal on that level, that game was like the disaster of December for me. Like, it was one thing that, Browning lit up the Jags defense. The crazy part about it is you knew Baker Mayfield and the Bucs were about to do the same type of thing that the Bengals had done in that game. And 4 weeks later, the Mike Caldwell defense, that defense couldn't stop it. It was the same stuff. And they couldn't stop it. They couldn't stop it for 4 quarters in overtime against Cincinnati, and they couldn't stop it until basically the Bucs took their foot off the gas because they were blowing out the Jags in the second half of that game. I think that was a Christmas Eve game or something last year. So, yeah, I think there's something to that, guys. And I don't know. I mean, again, these guys are pros, and Austin knows this. I think from a competitive standpoint, yeah, Tyson Campbell individually, some other guys individually. I don't think Doug addressed it or anything like that because I don't think it carries over to this time. But it's probably in some of these guys, the back of their heads to say we were embarrassed that game. Again, that was the game to me. Well, Tennessee, I guess, is another one. But you really started to get concerned in that Bucs game that are they even going to beat Carolina the next week? Mm-hmm. Like, to me, the Bucs game in a lot of ways, just as much as Tennessee, and I think people sleep on that Bucs game, probably got Mike Caldwell fired. Because even as a novice X's and O's guy, and I don't claim to be this X and O's guy, you're like, why couldn't they figure this out? Like, you knew going into the game what Baker Mayfield, that offense, were going to do. They were built very similar to the way Cincinnati was in that respect. A lot of short game stuff, and they couldn't stop it. So that bothered me last year. I remember that Caldwell and his defense went 2 games over a 1 month span, and they couldn't figure it out. Because, Austin, the reason I say that is usually in the course of a game you figure it out. By the second quarter you figure it out. Never mind a month later when you're playing pretty similar kind of scheme and everything, and you still haven't figured it out. So that was a major problem in my eyes with Caldwell, and one of the reasons that led to his firing, along with just the collapse and the Tennessee game, was more probably effort stuff, right, with the Derrick Henry game.
Yeah, I mean, I think a mark of a great defense and a great defensive mind is the adjustments. And yeah, granted, you didn't know. Well, you're supposed to know what Tampa was going to do and how they're going to beat you. But yeah, you saw a team that didn't make any kind of adjustments, got beat like a drum for 4 quarters, and really Tampa Bay eased off the gas a little bit towards the end of that game because it could have been a lot more of a blowout if they wanted it to be, but then they started running the football and running that clock down a little bit. So yeah, it was definitely an embarrassing effort and really kind of showcased, I think, kind of the disconnect of that Jaguars defense.
I almost just got stung by a bee, I think. I just want you guys to know that. So
nice.
But I hung tough. Like, I didn't freak out, Austin. See, that's the thing, right? I mean, you just got to settle down. They don't want to sting you. You don't. If you panic, then they get panicked. Isn't that the story?
This is correct. If you see a bee, don't show fear, man. Just chill out, and the bee will leave you alone. Are we talking a hornet? Are we talking a wasp? Are we talking a honeybee? What are we talking about? Put the camera on it.
I couldn't tell. It's gone now. It wasn't. I think it was just a regular bee. I think. Okay. It's all good. I might be embellishing right now. Maybe it wasn't even a bee, but I think it was a bee.
Oh, awesome. It was a fly. Fantastic. But no, we can definitely put it on the sky cam. Okay, well, we can definitely put it on the sky cam Hamby has at his access, and we can try to zoom in on that, see if it's like a bee, a fly, whatever the case may be, because that sky cam's paying dividends for the Brent Austen Show today.
We will go back, by the way, on the replay of what I looked like while I was checking out to see if it was a bee, and you'll see no panic on my face. Now, different story when that spider was in my car.
Ah, yeah. And so what happened with the spider again? I can't.
Have no idea.
All right.
I have no idea.
Making baby spiders? Fantastic.
They're
about to get infested.
Over my car, I guess. Just missed a deep bomb to Brian Thomas Jr. That's where you heard the oohs and ahs, but a little overthrown at the end of the day by, I think that was Trevor Lawrence. So, cool. Hey, how about this? I'm going to get out of here and come back to the studio, and we'll have some more from this practice. And Olivia and Marcel are here, so they'll send us back some more video that we can dissect. And I will even upload to you guys some of the plays that I shot, which, again, were high quality.
Nice. Oh, Brent, knowing you, I'm sure the lighting is going to be absolutely on point. It's going to be fantastic. Can't wait to see it.
All right. We'll see you back in a few.
We'll see you back in a few. Brent Martineau joining us live from the Jaguars Buccaneers joint practice.
Oh, I see it.
Got him, Hamby. I'm calling a spade here. Is there anything worse than I have FOMO right now because it's like, oh, good play by Brian Thomas. Like I can't, dude, you get FOMO sometimes doing this gig when you're left to watch the kids at the house and you're out gallivanting, having fun.
Gallivanting.
Yeah, that's what my coach used to always say in high school. I don't want you guys gallivanting the countryside. We have a game tomorrow because high school, Central Wisconsin,
right?
Getting into trouble, all that stuff. But no, I mean, I thought there's some interesting things here from what Brent shared. Obviously, the Christian Kirk. I mean, I'm not going to make it a big deal until I have to make it a big deal.
Right.
I'm just going to assume the best and assume it's a Veterans Day off, if you will, until further notice. I'm sure we'll probably find out after practice a little more of what transpired there. But a lot to like from Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones getting some play at the second string. And also, like I mentioned, Tyson Campbell, there's a video going around. Tyson Campbell had a nice pass breakup on Mike Evans. So a lot to like so far. Granted, still a lot of practice left, but so far, so good, Hamby.
Yeah, I just wish we could we knew what the Bucs offense was doing to us on the other side.
Well, I mean, Brent can't be two places at once. It's understandable.
And we'll get that later, but
let me ask you this. Are you more interested in what the wide receivers do against the Bucs defense or what the Jaguars defense does against the Bucs wide receivers?
That's a great I'm honestly, everything's offense.
It is. And it's going to be your identity, right? It's Doug Peterson, Trevor Lawrence. Like, I get it.
And so I think I lean offense just because that's what we thought it was going into last year. And it wasn't. But at the same time, the new faces, other than Brian Thomas Jr., Gabe Davis, but with the identity and the secondary is so new that I wish I could see more of that. Now, obviously, it's red zone, 7-on-7, which probably favors the offense.
Sure.
So you got to take it with a grain of salt. But I want to see Tyson line up time after time against Mike Evans and Darby time after time on Godwin, or if he's in the slot. What I really wish I could see, to be honest with you, is Darnell Savage. That's what I really wish I could see, is Godwin in the slot next to Evans in a bunch. Evans and Godwin versus Savage and Darby or
Yeah.
Cantor. And then how do we go? How do we
see? And this is, and then we probably have to go to break it pretty soon too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, this is like, we know how the wide receiver is going to play out.
Right.
We know Christian Kirk. We know Brian Thomas Jr. We know Gabe Davis, and we know you're going to probably plug and play Parker Washington sparingly where need be. Now, good thing about Christian Kirk, well, it's not a good thing, but a positive thing about Kirk, hopefully having a Veterans Day off, is not Parker Washington. Can get a little more shine and be showcased a little more, because once again, these are going to be quality reps for him to keep building that confidence by the time we have week 1 against Miami. But I still think there is some uncertainty in the Jaguars secondary. And once again, we talked about this to start the show off. You have some really good Tampa Bay wide receivers who could expose you really quickly. So, yeah, I mean, obviously it's fun to watch touchdowns be scored. It's fun watching Trevor do his thing. It's intriguing to watch Brian Thomas Jr., how he's doing out there. But to me, my focus right now, Hamby's on the defense. Mm-hmm. And it's how it's going to sort itself out. Because we talked about this. You're not going to have your starters this Saturday. So this is your opportunity now to shine if you're a cornerback, if you're a safety, to cement yourself in the starting lineup. Mm-hmm. So I think every single rep, whether it's 7-on-7, whether they go team, is going to be uber important in terms of cementing yourself in this Jaguars lineup.
100%.
All right, man. Let's go to break. Brent's racing back here. Oh! And we got the Scrap House tonight, too. If you didn't get your fix with football, don't worry, we got you. We got your fix with wrestling as well. Breaking down all the latest in AEW and WWE. Myself and Casey Kurtz will be going live tonight at 7 p.m. It's on the network. We'll be on Twitter, YouTube as well. Check us out. It's an hour long, just talking wrestling. We lead up until AEW Dynamite. And it's always a great time, man. Really enjoy what we do. And obviously, you get me and Casey Kurtz together. You never know what's going to happen. So that's going to be 7 o'clock tonight, the Scrap House. If you're a wrestling fan, definitely check that out. When we get back, we'll have some audio, we'll have some video, we'll have some thoughts.
In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jacks team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot, any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
People helping people is at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From 1954 to 2024, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. That commitment includes a partnership with the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team as the presenting sponsor of all Armada men's and women's broadcasts this summer. Action Sports Jacks and Alive Credit Union, a partnership that just makes sense when it comes to covering Northeast Florida. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of our first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Right now, you can save $1,000 or more when you bundle the Kinetico Premier Softener with a Kinetico K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Kinetico water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Kinetico dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579. Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years, and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices or pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports is local sports from Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast. Bakersport.com. Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Got the 1st and 10 training camp show going on tonight, starting at 11:15. Brent Stewart, Liv, and Marcel going to have all the hottest stuff coming from training camp. A big training camp, if you will. Hamby, maybe the most important training camp, as I said, in terms of the joint practices. They'll have all the exclusive coverages. Check them out tonight at 11:15 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Welcome to the Brent and Austen Show, or for right now, we got the Austen and Hamby Show. Brent on his way back from Jaguars practice. Going to have all the intel, all the insights when he gets back in. I'm sure knowing him, if he can avoid the speeding tickets, should be back here in what, maybe 20 minutes, Hamby? Maybe 15 minutes?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, we'll see how traffic is on this Wednesday. Before we get into some other things, Hamby, meat in a cup.
Oh.
Ground beef in a cup.
I didn't tell you that.
Ground beef in a cup. I mean, listen, that's my tease for everybody listening. Go and explain what you're doing right now with a cup full of beef and why you are doing this. Because I'm gonna be honest. I'm not like a therapist or a psychologist or anything like that. As you're eating meat from a cup, but my professional opinion would be that you need more sleep. Now, why are you eating ground beef from a cup?
Because I have a large Ziploc bag.
Okay, that's standard
of ground beef that I cooked.
Okay,
in the fridge, in the lunch, whatever, break room.
Sure.
And I figured this was the easiest way to eat it.
Okay. Now I'm about to blow your mind here. I'm not sure if you've heard this before. You ever heard of Tupperware?
Yeah, but it wouldn't. I didn't have a big enough one for all that I cooked. I cooked 3 pounds.
Hamby, do you have like a gallon bag of just ground beef?
What the Ziploc.
But like, how big is this Ziploc?
It's substantial size.
By the way, my Wisconsin accent comes out when I say the word bag, and I understand. Bag, but okay, so you have it's like a 3-pound bag of okay, and then you make the ground beef, you put it in the Ziploc, and then you bring the entire Ziploc to the studio.
Yes,
and then you take that ground beef from the Ziploc.
Yep.
And then you put a little bit into a cup, and like that's like your portion.
Scoop it out. I've done it 3 times so far today. And I like this comment because this is how you know Hamby is a true bachelor. Respect.
No.
That's it.
First of all, burner account Percules. That's Hamby if I've ever seen it. Second of all, I go back to the Tupperware question.
Yeah.
Why can't you just get like 3 or 4 containers of Tupperware, divide them up, keep it in the fridge, and just have 1 Tupperware container per day of ground beef? And by the way, next question after you answer the first question, next question is going to be, why are you just eating ground beef?
It's good for you.
Protein, sure. Fats, okay. But get tortilla, add something to it?
Sometimes I have rice.
Okay, that's better.
That you also take, that's the minute.
Okay, so now let's
microwave.
Let's go back to the first question, though. Tupperware. What are we doing with that?
I just don't have.
You just don't have it, huh?
That many. Yeah, or that big enough because.
It ain't that expensive. I'm waiting for the. You just didn't think about it, did you?
Well, first of all, no.
Okay.
Second of all,
love the honesty.
I feel like at this point in my life, it would be slightly concerning if I had ample amounts of Tupperware.
Oh, dude, come on, man. It's all right. It's all right to have Tupperware. It's not embarrassing.
Oh, not embarrassing. I wish I did. It's just like.
Well, now when we have like the Christmas party, I know what to get you.
Yeah, please.
Yep.
And socks.
And socks, I got you. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, we'll go with the Tupperware and socks.
No problem.
And then the second thing is, so you just eat raw ground, not raw, but you eat like cooked ground beef, and sometimes you'll add rice to that. That's about it.
That's what I did for lunch this
flavor.
Week.
You really have like
only
flavor doesn't matter to you, does
only
it?
salt and pepper on for seasoning.
You don't get like an Italian seasoning or a steak seasoning. Oh my God.
It's good. I enjoy it. Third cup.
Can you stop being a caveman and get a plate and a fork, please, like a normal person?
When I got in, I had my first cup around 6 this morning.
I'm not going to tolerate you eating it with a spoon either. No, put it on a plate, heat it up, and then use a fork.
This is the same thing as, okay, you ever do cereal?
This isn't
cereal in the red Solo cup, right?
No, I don't do cereal.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
On my life, I have never done cereal out of a red Solo cup. You know why? Because bowls are a thing. I'm a loser. I'm a loser because I eat cereal out of a bowl.
Not because you. It's fine if that's your normal.
No, don't
method.
say if that's mine. That's everyone's normal way of eating cereal. But it's out of a bowl, dude.
And that's great. But if you've never done it out of a red Solo cup,
hey. Why would I eat cereal out of a red Solo cup when bowls are a thing?
Sometimes you got to eat cereal to go.
I can't stress this enough. This is where Tupperware comes back into play then. Put it in the Tupperware container.
Absolutely
Take it with you. Okay, well, I don't know what to tell you, Hamby. All right.
That's what a red Solo cup.
It still can slosh around.
I'm going to do can we do a poll?
Please.
It is literally the easiest way to eat cereal, not sitting down at your breakfast table, is in the red Solo cup.
I mean, listen, if it comes down to it, and once again, this wouldn't be me, but if it had to be me and I have to eat cereal on the go, I'm still going to put it in a bowl and just not build the milk up so much and eat it there.
Thank you. Okay, again,
this is your burner account, so this does nothing for me. Yeah. Austin must have never been a kid late for school.
I'm snipping
many
it.
cups of cereal out of a cup.
Snip.
I didn't eat. I mean, dude, I wasn't a big I ate cereal, but I was always like more of a Pop-Tart kid. And then if I want to get fancy with it, do toaster strudels. But those were the rare occasion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like those were like the last day of school, the first day of school, spring break coming up. Then you go with a nice toaster strudel. You put that frosting right on top of that toaster. Heat up the frosting a little bit.
Mm-hmm. All right, so actually, let me ask you a question.
Waiting.
So, first of all, how have the first 2 or 3 days of school gone?
Oh, yeah, my son's doing great. Hasn't got yelled at yet, and hasn't used the "I'm sorry, Miss Jackson" reference, which is good. Hasn't had to use it yet.
Just wanted to make sure he was doing.
Yeah,
it.
no, he's doing good, man. I guess he's got some of his friends in his class he's excited about. The kids loved his new haircut because he had to get that fade.
Right,
it's like that mullet fade every kid's got.
Yeah.
But then he's got all the designs in the side of his head, which hey, that's cool, man. More power to you. That's what he wanted. I'm not gonna say no. I mean, I was the kid in middle school and even grade school, I wanted to get a mohawk, and my grandma's like, all right, you can get a mohawk. So I had a Mr. T mohawk for a while. Then I went through a phase where I dyed my hair blonde like the Golden Lords from Meteor Man, I believe. And now Hamby, I know I say the Golden Lords and I say Meteor Man, you're not going to have any idea what I'm talking about there. But yep, so I dyed my hair all blonde for a while before it was cool, back when I was actually getting made fun of for doing it. And then Odell Beckham Jr. does it. It's the cool thing to do. But don't worry, Odell, I was doing it before you were.
Right.
So there you go. But yeah, man, I mean, he's killing it so far. It's going good. So
Okay.
zero complaints on the school front.
Okay, cool. Taking school lunch or buying it there?
Oh no, he's got the commissary prison style going on there. He gets whatever he wants. He gets the hot lunch as they call it.
Sure.
Now, would I like to see him take it a little easier on the chips and the other accessories, and not get 4 or 5 bags a day? Absolutely, because then that hurts my checkbook. But it's all good, Dude's. Well, he weighs 76 pounds now, 77 pounds. So he's a bigger kid, in 4th grade. So he's got to eat. So I'm not mad at it. But yeah, man, they aren't giving chips away at that school.
So if for whatever reason, okay,
hit me with it.
I know we've been using our imagination a lot today because we're thinking about Evan Ingram catches over the middle that we can't see.
Because we have to see ants on the screen. Yes, that is correct.
Okay, and imaginary bees that Brent was hallucinating. And
yeah, I mean, man, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, so we're taking it back to
it was a fly or a moth
to our childhood before all the screen time.
Yes.
But imagine that he has to take. He pulls out the ground beef in a cup at lunch.
Oh, getting bullied, getting made fun of at school.
And then what would you tell him if he
has
was
to talk to the guidance counselor? What would I tell him if I was bullied?
No,
or if he was getting bullied?
Yeah.
What'd I tell him?
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna put me on the spot, huh? No, listen, I always tell him this. I go, you show respect. You don't. First of all, the most important thing is you don't bully people, right? You treat them with respect, because that's the way I was always brought up. And that. And listen, I've shared this story before, but when I had my son, it was I'm not trying to raise the next football player. I'm not trying to raise any kind of athlete. All I'm trying to do is raise a good member of society. I said, I don't care what he wants to do with his life, as long as he's respectful, and as long as he's not and I had a choice word for it. I'm not going to say it on the show, but starts with an A, ends in an E, figure it out. As long as he's not one of those, that's all I ask. And so far, so good from that standpoint. And I'm it's kids, man. Kids these days, especially now with social media and everything, it's the Wild West out there, and I understand that. I'm not naive to that.
Right.
But I always tell him, listen, if someone wants to pick on you or someone wants to bully you, you turn the other way. But, and earmuffs for any teachers out there listening from his school, I also have said, if someone tries to step to you and you feel threatened and you feel like you're not in a safe spot, you know how to do jiu-jitsu. I take you to class. Implement some of that. Don't throw a punch, don't hurt anybody, but de-escalate the situation. So that's where we're at with that. Take it for anyone. Now, does he go around and tell everybody that his dad's a UFC fighter and you better be nice to him? Yeah, he did that in 2nd grade, and I had teachers tell me that, because that was a thing for a while where it's well, my dad's in the UFC, so make fun of me if you want, but I can bring him around here. So I
mean, I don't blame him.
No, I mean, listen, I would much rather have my son brag about me in a cool way as opposed to being embarrassed and not bring me up at all. Because, dude, I mean, we all grew up with that, right? My dad wasn't really around that much, so I didn't have that. But my grandfather, I could brag about a little bit. But it seems like every kid wants to say hey, my dad's tougher than your dad, or my dad does this. I mean, dude, just wait till career. If they ever have a career day, man, Hamby. If they ever have a career day, I mean, I'm going to be handing out prime official drink of the UFC to kids. I'm going to be handing out official Venom UFC gear to kids.
Oh, my God.
And I'm going to be like, what's up, bro? It's good to see you, man. Oh, what does your dad do? Oh, I'm sorry. Your dad's, what does he do? Oh, he's in accounting? Hey. Oh, I'm sorry. Your dad's an accountant? Yeah. I punch people for a living. Yeah, I mean, I relish that day because, and I've said this before, and then we'll get into some more sports topics. I'm still kind of new to this whole parent thing. Like, yeah, I'm 9 years deep in or whatever now, so like I have a pretty good idea of like, I'm sorry, but, well, he's 4th grade, but like, I still think like there's gonna come that day, no matter what I do with my life, where I'm not gonna be cool anymore. Now, I think every father has to go through that. I think every father is gonna, if you have a son, I think if you have a daughter, it's different because I think like daughters and dads, like their bond is like forever. I feel like there gets to be a point where your son's gonna be like, all right, dad, I got my friends now. I'm too cool for school. We'll see you later.
Oh, wow.
But when that happens, I'll be cool with it. But until that time, Hamby, you best try to be the coolest dad.
Speaking of
ever. Yes. Yeah, this guy just came in out of control. Yeah, show him off, Brent. Show him what you got. Now, the sun never sets on a badass, I assume. And that's why you're wearing the shades indoors. What's going on?
My hands were full. And I've
not an excuse.
And I've watched Marcel walk this earth many times around here. Like
you aren't Marcel, though, are you?
This is what people do.
I
hang around the Jags. I hang around. This is what we wear sunglasses indoors.
The royal
cool
we.
Speaking of,
thank God. Oh, okay, we're back.
Speaking of cool people,
what do you got?
I've been listening to your dad conversation.
Oh, yeah,
There's two things.
man.
One that strikes me, I think we should do like maybe some dad advice almost daily on the show.
I like it.
Because it seems like you're a pretty good dad.
I try.
Me, on the other hand, probably not. So just think. Like, Ronan gets to say, hey, my dad fights in the UFC.
Yeah.
Ty and Kaylee always could say, hey, my dad wears makeup for a living.
Well, yeah. No, but hey, Brent, keep it
good stuff.
Keep it within perspective, though, man. People know who you are, though. All right? You're still a heavy hitter in this community, Brent. All right? Don't sell yourself short now. People know who you are.
You're welcome.
It's definitely an upgrade from accounting. Not to say I'm hating on accounting people. Like, hey, you guys are doing your thing over there.
Probably better.
But, I mean, I'm just saying, if I was a 4th grader and it was career day, an accountant came.
Yeah. I get you.
You know, come on. Like, unless you give me some like Jolly Ranchers after, like, all right, you guys pay attention to my presentation about being fiscally responsible. We got some Jolly Ranchers after, then maybe I might come with you. But if you don't have the Jolly Ranchers, I'm probably falling asleep.
Good stuff. I liked it. I was entertained.
Yeah, that's what we aim to do here.
You know what else I found out, by the way?
What you got?
People have asked me this question. See, I should just listen to the show more, maybe instead of not partaking in the show.
Sure, yeah.
But I listened to the show like the whole way home on Twitter.
Okay.
Which, by the way, so you can listen in your car, people. And a lot of times, like on Twitter, it will go away if something else comes up on your phone. Let's just say you got a phone call or something else. Mm-hmm. And that was one of our things we were battling. Yeah. We're like, well, how can it hide? Well, not anymore, at least on my phone. It stayed there the whole time, even when I wasn't on Twitter.
So you can
I had to actually shut it off coming in. I had to close out of Twitter.
Might because you have premium now.
I was actually thinking that. Do you think that could be part of it?
Yeah, because
I hope so. What you're paying for?
I mean, that's how YouTube works. Because if you're on it, even if your phone is off, it still plays. If you don't have premium, then the second you go to another app, it closes.
That's a real dumb thing, though, to have as like a premium nod. Everybody should have that. No, why wouldn't you want that?
Well, I think YouTube does the same thing.
Why wouldn't you want, if you're YouTube or Twitter, though, why wouldn't you want everybody to be able to hear it all the time? Why would you?
Because they want to make you pay for it.
But nobody's going to pay for that. Like I didn't even know that happened.
That was YouTube's selling point for a while.
Was it really?
So you could do that.
That was like an upgrade that people jumped onto and paid because of?
I think so. That's what they're advertising for.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
But it's weird, though, because I feel like some videos you can actually log off and still watch on YouTube, but some you can't. So I don't know.
A lot of times YouTube will hide under somewhere. You can do that with it hiding. Yeah. But then when you kind of you want to make your phone go to sleep or something, then it's gone.
Yeah.
But Twitter, if you were out of Twitter recently, at least, you couldn't listen. You have to go back in to listen. What I'm saying is right now, I couldn't find it. I was, where am I hearing this from? And so you could do it. So I'm like,
it's got to be a premium thing because I can't do it.
Wow, dang it. I thought we were on this. I was like, oh, good, because that's been a little bit of our blind spot.
Yep.
It's like, hey, how do we do that? Okay, everybody's got to get premium. Sorry.
Everybody's
We'll
gotta
chip
pay
in $5, okay?
Yeah.
Not a month, just $5.
Just give you the $5.
Just $5.
Oh,
Bye,
man.
everybody.
I mean, but it makes sense though. Like that can be a selling point, right?
don't
Like
get why that's a selling point.
how isn't it? What else does Twitter Premium offer besides that?
Well, the biggest thing, the only reason we got it was to broadcast live.
Sure, yeah.
So,
But like, I guess like how many broad out there, but like
the other
people
thing,
are broadcasting.
No, you're right. No,
Yeah,
I don't think a lot. I mean, the
Yeah.
reason we got it, and I mean, they've got some analytics and data and stuff that you can check into, which Twitter never had that.
Yeah.
Like YouTube
You can
always
share,
had
like,
like
the
YouTube
full
Studio
videos.
and yeah, you got which has been helpful again in our business. I'm not sure that's helpful in everybody else's world, right?
For sure.
So anyway, all right, enough about Twitter. Hey, did you see the tweet as I was leaving practice? Did you see Brian Thomas Jr.?
Did you tweet something?
Big catch?
Hey man, I can't go on Twitter and talk at the same time.
No, I didn't know if Hamby.
Oh, I got you.
yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, I heard you guys quoting like John Shipley and everybody else, so you guys were watching Twitter.
Well, hey, because you tweeted like 3 things.
I know.
How do you
I was kinda
tweet
yapping.
25 times during the show, but then you go to practice during a joint practice, you tweet like 3 times?
Well, do you see my Parker Washington video? I was gathering.
I didn't.
Go, look at it right now. Go. I want you to see it. Here it is.
Okay.
Look at this. I mean, this is what I'm doing.
Okay.
Watch this.
I can't wait.
Wait, is this the second video?
This is whatever you just do in a Google Drive.
Oh, okay, well, you didn't get this. I put one on Twitter of Parker Washington. But this isn't bad either. This is Evan Ingram. Boom.
Ref got in the way a little bit.
Dart.
Ref got in the way a little bit.
Dart.
Let's see one more time. Let's see. Ref gets in the way. I can't see. Oh. All right. Yeah. I mean, that was Dart. That was a nice pass. I think. I mean, I don't know.
We'll show you another one of Parker Washington. But I'm gathering stuff like this.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Brent. It looks a little AI-ish to me because I don't see the ball leaving Trevor's hand because the ref's head was in the way.
Now, if you keep this going, we'll get to a second play.
Okay.
And this is the play I was telling you guys.
This is 8K, by the way. This is nice.
This is the play. Man, what are you doing? Fast forwarding here?
Yeah.
You love to fast. You like. You
Yeah,
like
man.
an old VHS machine. Going over
let
there.
it breathe, Hamby.
Watch this. Oh,
Ref in the way
that
again.
was almost picked.
Brent.
Well, the ref got in my way.
Brent, listen.
I didn't brag about this. I bragged about the Parker Washington one.
Okay.
You'll see it.
Yeah, well, let's play this one more time, Hamby. Okay? Yeah, I mean, I guess something happened. I don't know.
Isaac almost stole it and went the other way.
So
Whoever that is.
So that has to be better, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Parker Washington will be better.
Is that the same play that Dewey had those two?
Nah, it's a little
it's different.
Nah, it's a little
Okay.
different. I mean, this was more of an out. Like the Dewey
Okay,
plays
tell.
were. The Dewey plays were more. I want to say from like the 20-yard line, 25-yard line.
Oh,
Route development plays that ended up landing in a similar spot.
gotcha.
But anyway, but what I was getting at, and this part wasn't on video. You know, when I joined you guys, that was a closed session for media and cameras and everything else, and that was where they were going with their run game stuff and some of the power game. And outside of Tank Bigsby, really not a lot working. I actually think they were using Bigsby more. It's almost like they're an ETN. They don't want to see him get hurt in this kind of setting.
Yeah.
I feel like he's not getting as many reps. Just my observation. I don't know if that's a planned attack by the Jags, but it would make some sense. But that front was kind of winning the day a little bit, it looked like, against the Jags in that power run game. I think that's going to continue to be something to watch. I think it was Mac Jones who hit Elijah Cooks on a contested play downfield. Then Brian Thomas Jr., a bomb, touchdown,
Nice.
in teamwork.
You'll
This
just
is
see it.
Parker. Oh, that's good stuff.
Nice.
Oh.
Look at that.
Nice, Parker. Dude's getting his reps in, man. You know, Christian Kirk being down right now, he's getting more, so I like it.
With all due respect, like, I know that was a good catch by Parker, but it was a really good video.
That wasn't bad. Let me see this one. You can zoom out a little more, though. You know, like see, like this is your style versus like my style. You like this is like theatrical right here, right? Like you cut out and everything, and then we see like the last. I want to see the play. Like I want to see it breathe a little more. You just give us like setting it up, boom, action.
I was the NFL Films camera with my iPhone.
I'm not mad at
50.
it, man. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
But to be honest with you, it's totally a mistake because I was like, had zoomed. They got on the iPhone. They have like you can push into like the 5 times, and
Okay.
so I didn't realize like Parker might come right at me and I'd be 2 feet away from him.
How?
So that's how this happened.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
way zoomed in because I'm thinking he might go the opposite side of the field. I wanted to be zoomed in pretty good.
Can we see this one more time? Do we have a middle schooler trying to cover Gabe Davis? How short is this? How tall is Gabe Davis?
6'2",
Okay.
6'2", I think.
How tall is his corner? I mean, I get he's crouched, but Gabe Davis looks like he towers over that corner.
What number is he?
That's
0? I thought 02 for a second.
No, it's definitely 22.
22.
22?
22.
That is
Hit me with the Brent.
22 on the Bucks. Chase Edmonds. He's 5'9".
The Cardinals running back?
Out of Fordham.
The Cardinals.
He's a 7-year guy, man.
He's
yeah,
5'9".
7-year guy. 5'9" guy
He's
out of
5'9".
Fordham.
Yeah. Looks every bit of 5'9".
Gabe Davis had some good plays in practice today as well.
Good.
So,
That was my prediction of what you're going to say.
Oh my gosh, this is a terrible comment.
Hey, I'm just saying when we had you on before you got on, I said, "What's the first thing Brent's going to mention?" And I said, "I'm thinking it's going to be a Gabe Davis nice, touchdown catch, something like that." Now, what was the first thing you mentioned? Because you mentioned like the intensity and everything, but the second thing you mentioned was Gabe Davis.
Well,
so put it on this
comment.
Put it on the board, Hamby.
Here's the thing. It's almost like that's how they want to get their rhythm of their offense going, is with a Gabe Davis across the middle type thing. We saw it the other day in the game. So it was a very similar couple of plays. I mean, I would say sat down kind of in like a zone defense one of the times, but another one was across the middle. Like, that's going to be a play I feel like they're very comfortable with, which would, again, something quietly we said on Monday coming out of that game on the ETN touchdown, is it at least exploits the middle of the field. I think that's what people have been asking the Jags to do a little bit more the last couple of years with Trevor Lawrence. Is that what we're going to see? Is Gabe Davis that guy? Kind of the way they would have liked to use Zay Jones a little bit, to your point, immediately when they signed Gabe Davis. And the other thing that's hard not to notice, and I get it's practice, man, are they pushing the ball down?
Yeah.
Holy cow. And all the quarterbacks are playing really well for the Jags right now. So there's just a lot to like of what the offense is at least trying to do, trying to force the issue. Kind of, we associate the defense right now with that because they want to be aggressive, that mindset. But I think the offense is trying to do a little bit of that themselves, where they're really pushing the ball down the field. One other note, just so I don't forget, on this Whataburger Wednesday, when I texted you guys in the group chat, I said we can have Nick on speed dial, and you were like, "What are you talking about?"
Correct.
That's because old Hamby over here, 23-year-old Hamby, young buck Hamby, called me Chief.
Oh, I got it. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Are you a little
personally.
How you feel about getting called Chief?
Well, I didn't know at first if he did it on purpose. I'd rather him have done it on purpose than accidentally.
No,
I don't think he did it on purpose.
It was intentional. It was intentional.
Oh, okay.
It was.
You cool with that?
Not really.
I mean, listen. If we'd have been on doing the show as me and him, he called me Chief, we'd have take a little commercial break and we come back. It'll just be me here.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. Try me, Hamby.
I'm good.
Tiptoe, Hamby.
I'm in fight camp right now, man.
He's on edge.
I'm on edge a little bit.
You've been doing a great job hosting the show, but probably going to send us to break, so I'll let you take over.
Oh, cool, man. All right, sounds good. Yeah, Hamby, let's go to break. Let's get one more Scott shot of those ants real quick. I think I saw something I wanted to address real quick. We're talking about this Jaguars 3-4 defense, 4, whatever it's going to be. As we can see here, maybe it's going to be more of just a traditional 4-3 defense. Eric Armstead looking great on the sidelines right now. He's ready to roll. I like the guy. He's coaching the young guys right now, as we can see, giving him kind of like his piece of his mind. That's going to be great. Ryan Nielsen, obviously intensity by a long shot there as well. And then it's great to see Press Taylor and obviously Doug Peterson kind of holding hands and doing this together. Because it's going to take a team. That shot, I can't tell if that shot counted or not. I can't tell.
Mike Malarkey is there today.
Oh, Mike Malarkey. Was he really there?
Yeah, he was.
Nice. Well, yeah, because he's former. Did he have any ties to Tampa Bay? I guess not, huh?
I think so.
Okay, but just hanging out.
He's just hanging out.
Cool. Right
joint
on.
practice, intensity. He likes
Cool.
the intensity of it.
Cool.
I feel like we should play Dave Matthews Band every time you show this shot.
I mean, we might. He wakes up in the morning. Whoa, look at that. What is that is that one of those new Maybachs in the parking lot there? On that a little bit. Ooh. I like that in all black, too.
The funny thing is you keep asking him to zoom in. He has
Sitting
no
on
control
22 is what I wish we did, Brent, because God knows we need something with this video. All right, more of the Brent Austen Show when we get back.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%. I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave. So I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer. You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
It's hard to put a price on comfort, especially when you use that comfort on a daily basis. But if we're going to put a price on it, how does the lowest price guaranteed sound? Furniture Source is going to have the biggest brands, whether it's Ashley, Casper, or Tempur-Pedic, and once again, it's going to be the guaranteed lowest price in Jacksonville. Right now, my friends at Furniture Source are going to give you the ultimate hookup because all month long, they're making their inventory wholesale price. Check out their markdowns up to 50% off. And remember, since it's Furniture Source, you're getting the guaranteed lowest prices in Florida or your money back. Don't have the cash on you right now? It's no worry. Shop endless options to suit your style and budget and enjoy 36 months off with no interest financing. Why use your money when you can use theirs? Whether it's beds, couches, tables, or chairs, Furniture Source is going to have exactly what you're looking for. Shop the lowest prices in Jacksonville guaranteed. Find the location nearest you at FurnitureSourceJax.com.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Right now, get a free A200 Connecticut reverse osmosis system with a purchase of a Connecticut Premier softener. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Oh man, it is that time. I love being outside, but it is just so hot. Oh my gosh, I cannot be outside. Well, you know, it doesn't have to be. As a matter of fact, I've got the perfect solution for you to be able to stay outdoors and not look like this guy.
GW Outdoor Solutions has the solution that will help you create areas of shade with their automated retractable awning. As the summer months inch closer, the high temperatures will be right there too. With GW Outdoor Solutions, go from scorching to cooling in no time with one simple push of a button. These innovative shade solutions not only provide protection from the sun and rain, but also add style and functionality to your home. Let GW Outdoor Solutions transform your backyard into paradise. Check out GWOutdoorLiving.com for your free estimate.
New to town or always been in town? Everyone is always looking for a good pizza place. Our place is Donato's Pizza. We love it and still do love it. When I tell my family I'm coming to Donato's, they say, wait a minute, you got to order some for us. So this is not all for me. Let me tell you what the Martineaus get when we put an order in. Well, pepperoni pizza, we usually get more than one of these. And then there's the works, a little bit of everything. And then this is the pizza that can be polarizing for some out there. I don't know why. Hawaiian pizza, some love it, some don't. At Donato's, you're gonna love it, especially with that cinnamon sprinkled on top. Try the pizza my family likes or try your favorite. Right now, you can use the code BRENT20 and get 20% off your order. Every viewer and listener is important to us, and at Donato's Pizza, every piece is important. From fresh ingredients to the dedicated team members and you, the valued customer. Donato's Pizza, where every piece comes together for a winning combination. Jack's Beach and Mandarin locations, Donato's Pizza, every piece is important.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Trevor Longshot back. Couldn't. I don't know who I could tell who that was. Is that Parker Washington?
Here's BTJ.
BTJ, boom, touchdown. Get some better cornerbacks. Tampa Bay could be a liability. Trevor looking good. Do we know who the first one was, Hamby? Brent, you know who the first one was? The first touchdown here? Who we got here, Brent? That ain't the first one. Definitely can't see that one.
That wasn't a touchdown?
Tell me. Who's this right here?
That was ETN.
Oh, that's ETN.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I remember that play.
Okay. Making good on my prediction. I have that Tank Bigsby's going to have more rushing touchdowns than Travis Etienne, but Travis Etienne will have a lot more receiving touchdowns. I like it.
Yeah, I think I still think the Jags are struggling on their. I think you like the fact that they can push it down the field. I think they still are, in my mind, going to struggle a little bit in the short yardage stuff. I don't know if it's going to be there. I don't know what that is. I started to think about it a little bit more, Austin. Like the one thing when you don't change people out, you're just hoping that they change. Whether they get better and develop, that's okay. Like that's part of sports and everything else. But their mentality has, like for that offensive group, that mentality has to change. They got to get like nasty. They got to. That's more it than physical, I think, for the most part. So are they just not there? Is Ezra Cleveland enough to change that? Is Mitch Morse enough to change that for the rest of the line? I mean, I think Cam does have it. So again, this is like individually you can go there and say, okay, I feel like it's going to be there. But the combination of can you move people, and do you really want to move people? Like really, really, really want to move people?
Yeah,
I just think is a question. It's a fine line. It doesn't mean that you're bad. It doesn't mean anything else. It just means there's a fine line between being able to do that. And Saturday night, we didn't get a great indication that they could do that. I think early here, you're not getting a great indication. Some of the stuff out on the practice field, I just wonder if it's going to be a concern still. Tank Bigsby could be a factor there in those short yardage situations where maybe he's just a more confident runner, a better runner. He can help you do that. But I just feel like this is less on the backs. I know it goes hand in hand. It's more mentality on the offensive line, and we'll see if they can do it. But that's going to be a question mark until it's not. Yeah,
without a doubt, and that's got to be your identity too. I mean, this is a team that's going to want to run the football, and if you can't do that, I trust in Trevor Lawrence, I trust in this receiving core, I trust in the speed and everything, the ability to push the ball downfield, but it makes things that much harder then to be sustainable if you can't run the football.
It's pretty fun out there. If you like local sports, we've got obviously Mac Jones, Cooper Hodges, a Baker County kid. Those are the two Jags guys that are local. And then you have John Wolford on the other field for Tampa, who's it's just been a cool story. He's been an undersized guy and a great career at Wake Forest. Was on Wall Street basically until he got a call about getting into the NFL or back into the NFL for a chance, and he took it. And he's been with the Rams, and now he's with the Bucs. I think he might have been some other place. I think initially was he with the Jets or something. But he's now parlayed this into a pretty nice career in the NFL and a backup spot. So he gets a little home cooking here. I mean, he literally played across the river at Bishop Kenny. From the practice field, he can almost see his high school field, which has got to be pretty neat for him.
Brent Martineau, did you see that comment?
What's that? The last one?
Up a little bit. I can't scroll back on this, but the gentleman you were accusing of being my burner account, actually just changed his username to Hamby's Burner.
I love it, man. I love it.
There you go.
Called it.
You got family listening. That's very nice. So what did you show us some video?
Yeah, here's a little bit more. Some of this you've probably already seen.
Yeah,
there's
that's okay.
The incompletion.
Yeah, just let it go. That's fine.
That was ETN too?
I don't think that was ETN. I don't know who that first one was.
Let me find out.
This guy loves the real passport button.
We're trying to figure out who it is. I can't.
Look like Gabe. Look like Zero.
Of course. Yeah, that one was ETN. ETN had a couple plays in a row. One I think was thrown off his hands, or maybe it was too wide or broken up. And then that one. And then there's the BTJ one.
BTJ. Still getting used to that nickname.
You don't love it?
Well, it reminds me of BTK. We don't want to remind ourselves of that.
How about HBK?
Oh, I mean, that's better. Yes. Heartbreak Kid. Let's go. That one, I think, was caught.
Yeah, that's caught.
Is this how we got?
That's Parker.
Oh, that was the Parker one.
Yeah.
That was when I had it really good.
Wait, are you? Let me see. If I
Okay,
can
well,
see
do
you.
you want to say really good? Because,
I had it really good.
There's
This-
Brent. Look
This
at-
is what you want. You wanted the pushed out angle.
Well, hey, you know what I want? I don't want a goalpost in front of my view. Don't want that though, huh? But it's all good.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah. You have multiple angles of this play. That's what we're getting at.
All I'm saying is it's a good thing I didn't go to this practice. If you want me shooting video, I'm in the huddle. They gonna stop me. I'm be like, hey, this is the Brent Austen Show. This is the Action Sports Jacks network. I gotta get in the huddle and I gotta I'd be running the route right behind whoever this is here. So we established this is, who was that? Parker Washington?
Parker,
Yeah, I'd be right behind Parker Washington the whole time, recording him.
And then there's the, was that the, nope. That was Cephas, yeah.
Yep.
Is this
Nice.
Mac now playing quarterback?
That's Trevor.
Oh, that's Trevor, okay. That was the Ingram one.
Yep, there's a nice Nike Polo shirt.
It killed. I think Liv shot this stuff. So
Oh, dang, I thought this is all Brent stuff.
no,
Dang.
this isn't me.
Oh,
All right, let's back to the beginning.
Liv, you're doing a great job.
You have some defense too, or we got
defense. There's as close as I can get to Brent.
Is that a fight?
That's Parker Washington's catch.
Is that me right there?
That's you.
Yeah, there we go. All over it.
Nice.
Didn't even budge.
All right, and let's see some defense.
And be getting the important stuff.
I love it.
Defense is more drills. A lot of Muma.
Yeah, a lot of movement because we're going to talk to Muma this week, so that's what we do in the TV biz.
Oh no, yeah, you got to set it up a little bit. I appreciate that.
How about you? So doesn't he look leaner to you? Does he look leaner to you?
Muma,
Everybody else is gaining weight. He looks a little lean.
see, well, I said Poye looked lean too, though.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't really because Muma
Nah, I
wasn't
get it.
really on
I
the
get it.
docket last year for me, you know.
Yeah.
Now he is.
So tall. Holy cow, Flowers.
Yeah, he's pretty tall, huh?
Goodness. There's Devin.
There's Lloyd. Yep. Let's get him rushing the pass a little bit. That's all right.
There are some folks. I think I saw Travis Ryer out there said he thinks Lloyd's going to be their third best pass rusher, which is interesting.
I mean, okay, but can you do that for the middle linebacker position?
I just saw him tweet that. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm so confused, Brent, about this whole linebacker.
Well, listen, I think
situation.
they want people to be a little confused too. So
Oh,
I
well,
like.
hey, mission accomplished, Mr. Nielsen.
I think they want that. I think are there interchangeable parts here. We'll see. But it's kind of fascinating what they're going to do at the linebacker spot. I also think the safety thing is interesting to me. The fact that they bring in these two guys, the old guys, it's still a mystery of what exactly that says about their safety room that they brought in a 10-year and a 12-year vet to come in and they did that in 2 weeks' time. It's been about 14 days, I think, between Amos and Gibson. And there's just something there to that. And I get the Dewey part, but it's more than the Dewey part. And we will find out at some point what it is. And some of this, too, you got to remember, just from a practice standpoint, Darnell Savage hasn't been practicing. He's got the red jersey on. So, he's been doing limited stuff, but he's not in contact like today, didn't play Saturday night. So at some point, they'll get him back. I already mentioned Armstead, if you're just jumping in the show. He's activated, but doing very walkthrough limited stuff. They're not throwing him out into this right away. And then Christian Kirk did not practice today because of we don't know why.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure we will know why. It didn't look like anything major, but he practiced yesterday, played in the game Saturday, and just had a jersey and a hat on today. But nothing like that you would notice from an ailment standpoint of, like a boot or anything like that. So I don't really know why he didn't play. Did you guys already get to some of the position group stuff?
Mm-mm.
As in,
yeah, which one of the questions I had for you guys today is the safety sparked this. The safety conversation. Yes, remember we were talking about it. It's well, now all of a sudden it looks deeper, especially by the time you get to the middle of the season. You, at least in names, you got Gibson. You think maybe Antonio Johnson, Darnell Savage can do both. Obviously, you've got Cisco, who I think is a blossoming player still. Throw Amos in, throw whoever you want. Wingard will be healthy at some point, it looks like. So, to me, that safety position, which I thought was the thinnest, quite frankly, on the team, looks deeper to me now. Yeah. Now, how good it is, I still think is debatable, but I think it's deeper. And so you have more options in case things don't go well. I think the secondary, for that matter, we thought was pretty deep to begin with guys. Now, who's going to play where, we don't know, but we thought it was pretty deep. They had a lot of different players. I think coming off that game Saturday, don't you feel like it's even maybe deeper than we thought? Because Christian Braswell, to me, was not on my radar. Mm-hmm. So you now throw him on there.
Yeah, I mean, this is why we talked about this to start the show off, why I think these practices are so important against the Buccaneers, because you're going against a pretty good offensive team with great wide receivers that you'll probably be locked up on a little bit. And I think this will be an opportunity for players to kind of shine a little bit and show what they can do, because I think it is an open competition right now.
So do you, like, we all thought the position group was pretty deep, right? Secondary? I mean, again, Buster Brown's a guy that nobody's talking about as being a player. They don't want, I wouldn't say like, hey, yeah, we can't wait to see Buster Brown. But he actually has made plays in games for the Jags. I mean, he helped win the game against New Orleans. He's got some experience. He's got a skill set that you think can play. He made a play the other night again. Like, not like Buster Brown as a player that I feel okay if you have to put him out there.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I look at this roster, this might be the deepest position group.
Yeah, that you feel good about, right? This is really a feel-good question.
Yeah.
From what we have. And that's the point. Like, when we were talking in April, May, June, and we're taking a look at these groups, how do we feel now that we're a couple weeks into camp and got a game under their belt? Again, the defensive is one where I think has potential to be extremely deep. I do think I have to even slow down a little bit on that, because we don't know. But they look like they could have, from an amount of bodies that could contribute, that you could buy into if they were a stock, it feels like there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, it just depends, and we broke this down as well in the beginning of the show, of where they decide to put them all.
That's a little bit of it.
Which we still don't know.
I did this last night. I wonder if, remember I asked you the other day, how many sacks do you think Armstead, Trayvon, and Josh,
yes,
you feel like they could get? And I think the number you threw out was 33.
Yes.
Because you like Larry Bird too.
He's the best.
Yes. So I did last night. Went back and looked at 2017.
Okay.
And I will admittedly say sometimes I get Josh confused with 17's team. He was on 18's team with Jan and Calais. You know, Josh Hines Allen. He wasn't on the 17th team.
He wasn't on 17.
And sometimes I confuse that too.
Okay.
So as I go back, Calais had 14 and a half sacks. Jan had 12. So keep that in mind now. They were one sack. That tandem was one sack less than Trayvon and Josh last year.
Calais had 14?
14 and a half.
And Jan had
12. And so
here comes the math.
And then I already did the math. And then there were 8 for Dante Fowler Jr., believe it or not. 8 sacks for Dante.
Huh. Okay.
So he was the third guy.
Yep.
Now, there was another player. So that's what I would take. I would say that's 34 and a half if you do the numbers. So it's right around, if you take the top 3 pass rushers for the Jags, what you think maybe Armstead, Trayvon, and Josh could do.
Yep.
Right around that same mark. I think what the separator is in a lot of ways are 2 things. Malik Jackson had 8 sacks that year from the 3 technique spot.
Yep.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's getting, who's getting that? Like, because Roy Robertson Harris isn't getting like 8 sacks.
I mean, Trayvon Walker could get that because he's probably playing the
inside.
inside.
Well, I know, but I'm already counting him.
Oh, I got you.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And even Armstead, like, yeah, maybe he does, but I'm already counting him.
Okay.
As one of their top 3 rushers.
Okay.
So who gets that? I don't know. I don't know who fills that void. And then there's another category that I would say is others. Whether it was Telvin on a blitz or Miles on a blitz, or maybe it was Marcel Darius only had like 1 sack, I think. But those guys contributed to get the number to wherever it ended up pretty high. So, and I think it's fair to look at them and say, why can't they be as good as that front? You're invested. You invested in a number 1 overall pick. You invested $150 million. You just invested in Eric Armstead a bunch of money. You paid Devon Hamilton. You've paid Roy Robertson Harris. You've invested draft picks in some of the other guys like Tyler Lacey or Yasir Abdul or anybody else. Like, why not hold them to that standard of, hey, we did this in 2017. You can do that here. The difference between those 2 teams, if you line them up on paper right now, is the secondary and probably even the linebacker spot. Foye is very good, but that was a playmaking linebacking core. And the secondary was obviously outstanding. I mean, A.J. Boye had 6 picks to lead the team. They had 18 picks in the secondary.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Well, and Jalen was also kind of a shutdown.
Jalen was Jalen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Jags don't necessarily. Now, we'll see. I mean, maybe Tyson can get there, but we're not calling him that yet. So I actually think Cisco is equivalent to a kind of a Tayshaun Gibson back there. So, yeah, if you take the top, this is where you have to start. Take the top 3 pass rushers from 17, and can these guys deliver those kind of numbers? That's the question. And I think the answer is, yeah, why not?
34 and a half.
Yeah, because it's really 14.5 for Calais.
Oh, I got you. Okay. See, I get what you're saying here, and we would assume that Josh Hines Allen is definitely going to get double-digit sacks. If he doesn't, then you regressed a little bit. So yeah, put him down for 12, 13 at least. I said this to start the show off. One of my biggest fears is, what is Trayvon going to look like if he rushes from the inside? Will he put those Calais Campbell numbers up? Or will they be more of like the 7 or 8 category? Because we know what he can do from the outside, the edge.
Yeah, and I know you're concerned about that.
Well, yeah, I think it warrants concern.
Instead of going 12 or 13, is he go backwards to 8?
Correct.
Yeah.
And then I get what you're saying here, and they definitely can replicate this. They should be able to replicate this. My concern is that if you move Trayvon down, put Armstead, like, are they going to be playing their best possible positions to maximize the quarterback sack efficiency? And I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, and you might get more from other people than maybe even that team did, because if they do move, let's just say, I know you're uncomfortable with the idea of it because of where he's lined up, but if they move Devin Lloyd and get him involved a little bit more.
Oh, Brent, that's what I had a 10-minute conversation wanting him to do that.
I know. I think everybody wants to do it. But if he does do it, then maybe he gets more than any linebacker on that squad did. But so you can do it in a couple different ways. The one thing I would say about 17, this is why this was so special. I think all 3 of those guys had career years. Calais is 14.5, I think was his best. Jan definitely was his best, I think, at 12. And even Fowler, now he might have been with the Rams or Dallas. He might have cleaned up and got a little bit more.
I feel like Dante probably had more with the Rams.
He might have.
Let me look it up.
He might have. Donald and everybody else.
Donald,
he had one year where I think he had really good production.
Here's the thing, though, with the
outside of Jackson,
they had 34.5. That year total, they had 55 sacks. So the top 3 had 63% of the total team sacks. Do you think that our top 3 would come up with a bigger percentage or a lower percentage than 63%?
Well, going in right now, I would say you probably would pick almost a higher percentage.
Yeah.
Because last year they had like 40 sacks or something, or not even, and these two had 27.5 of them.
Right.
So they had like most of them.
Yeah.
But I think there's multiple ways to do it. I think it's okay to be top heavy in spots and have these bookend guys that are really good, or have a trio of pass rushers that are very good. And then there's the Kansas City way. I mean, Chris Jones basically had like 15 sacks, and not anybody else, whether it was last year or 2 years ago, I think I did this 2 years ago, not anybody else had more than 6.
Right.
And they had 55 sacks as a team.
Kostafis, whatever that dude's name is, didn't have?
Karlaftis, he had 6. I think he was second. Now, again, this might have been 2 years ago I'm referring to.
Okay.
But one of the last couple of years, they were second in the league with 55 sacks. And I think it was that year that Chris Jones had the mega season with 15 or 16, something like that. And then if you looked at everybody else was like 6, 6, 5, 5. That's what they contributed. So you can do it that way too.
Fowler, by the way, had 11.5 sacks.
So he did with the Rams.
With the Rams.
That were those his 2 years, 11.5 and 8.
Correct.
Oh, 11.5, pretty good.
I mean, once again, play next to Aaron Donald, like even Clay Matthews had double-digit sacks, and he was like years old still playing.
Listen, Fowler hasn't been. How many career sacks does he have? I'm gonna guess. Let me guess. I'm gonna guess he's got like 52.
45.
Under. 45?
45.
By the way, 45 sacks would put him second all-time in Jaguars history to Bracken. I think it would put him right where Josh is. Now, of course, he was drafted like 3 years prior to Josh.
16.
But he lost the whole year, right? He lost his whole rookie year. Did he lose the whole rookie year because of ACL? Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So, I'm not trying to make a case for Fowler. Fowler has been a productive player, I think, but he's not a number 2 or 3 pick wherever he was drafted by the Jags. Mm-hmm. He hasn't delivered to that degree.
Correct.
But he's had himself a nice career. In many respects, he's got a little Tyson Alualu in him, right? Where you like player for a long time.
Yeah, but like if I look at it like, but you're an edge though. So like he had 3 sacks in Atlanta. Then he had 4.5 and 6 and 4. Like I'm not sure how much he's. I know he's with the Dallas Cowboys. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know like how much he's getting paid or like what the numbers say. But like with Tyson, like Tyson wasn't brought in to be a pass rusher. Tyson is a 3 technique. And now he turned into a nose, and like he's still one of the best to do it because that's his job. Like I'm not sure if I'm going to call Dante Fowler one of the best edge rushers in the NFL.
No, but I don't. Did you ever really call? Did you call Tyson one of the best?
I mean, I think
just thought he was a steady good player for years.
Tyson's a steady good player, but I think the fact that Tyson Alualu is still in the league from 2010 shows you that he must be doing something right.
No, I don't dismiss that. Yeah. I agree.
And his job, I think, is a lot more thankless. Like you can't just say, okay, well, he had like 1 sack, he's not good. Well, no, that's not his job. Like Dante Fowler's job is to get sacks. Once again, I'm not sure how much money he's making, but 3, 4.5, 6, 4. I mean, it's okay.
It's just okay. Yeah. Yeah, and that's I guess was my point overall. I mean, it's been okay.
Yeah,
but not worthy of a 3.
I think Tyson's has been pretty good. I think Tyson's been good, but yeah, I'm biased.
No, I know, and I can appreciate that. And listen, I would too. From the 2 guys, I would try to lean toward that too. I'm just saying from where they're picked. Like Tyson, I don't think delivered as a 10 pick. That's not his fault. He was picked at number 10 overall in the first round.
But how bad is he? If he's how many players left from Tyson Alualu's draft class?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean.
Listen, that's my point. Like he's a steady player for a long time, but nobody's going to put him in Pro Bowls and All Pros and say, "Hey, you should have been picked number 10 to deliver that." He's a player that you win with, that you want, you need, and that's why he's been so productive. I wonder if a guy like Dante's fallen into that. I mean, Dante's been with multiple teams, but he's also a guy that I think like Dan Quinn has now taken and said, "Okay, we want you, we need you, we like you. You can go get us 5 or 6 sacks." Like, that's okay to settle in your career, just not if you're the 3rd pick overall.
Yeah.
And so I think if you ask a lot of people in my grocery store test, say, hey, you think Dante Fowler's in the league or not? They'd say no.
Mm-hmm.
But here we are almost 10 years later, and Dante Fowler's still in the league. But that just shows you where you get picked versus your production can kind of spin the way you look at things.
Wild. I'm looking at these. Brandon Graham retired?
Did he just retire?
Yes, he did. Okay,
I think he did. Or did he come back? Was he the one? Fletcher Cox retired. I thought Graham might have come back to the Eagles this year.
He's back?
I don't know.
He's back.
Is he? Yeah, I thought so.
So we got Trent Williams, Tyson Alualu, Brandon Graham, Jason Pierre-Paul. Kareem Jackson still playing? I think Kareem Jackson's still playing.
Is he really? Wow.
As Jerry Hughes still? Okay, I mean, I'm just a lot of names. But like, you got 4 guys, more than likely, that are still active in the NFL from the first round.
Where is Tyson right now? Is he still in Pittsburgh or is he somewhere else?
I think he's in Detroit.
Is he Detroit? He might be Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to him. It's like I said, and I wasn't trying to knock him. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to knock either one. I think it's a compliment. I just think you get graded on where you were picked.
No, you do, but I'm saying that if you're picked number 10 overall, and 14 years later, and you're still playing in the NFL, over guys like who were picked ahead of you, like C.J. Spiller and McLean and Joe Hayden, Russell Okung, and Eric. I mean, Eric Berry was obviously dominant, but he's done. Joe McCoy, like, I think there's something to be said for still being active in this league 14 years later.
Just do me a favor, go to 2015 and do the similar thing, just for the top 10, if you can. Like, who else was picked that's still a premier player? I don't even know how good that draft was.
All right, so you got Jameis Winston playing, Marcus Mariota's around, Dante Fowler, Amari Cooper still playing, Brandon Sheriff obviously still playing, Leonard Williams, Kevin White's, I think, out of the league.
Yeah, I think so.
Beasley's done. Eric Flowers is done. Todd Gurley, who I forgot about, is done. Andreas Pete's still definitely playing. Devontae Parker, I think, is still playing. Melvin Gordon is playing. Armstead's playing. Marcus Peters is playing. Cameron Irving, I think, is still playing. Nelson Aguilar is definitely still playing. Bud Dupree's still playing. I think Shane Ray might be done. DJ Humphries is playing. Shaq Thompson's playing. Laken Tomlinson's still playing in Detroit. Philip Dorsett is still playing, even though sparingly in Indianapolis, I believe. So, yeah, you get a couple guys. Like 20, maybe?
Yeah, that's a lot. By the way, those are long. I mean, those are. I would just be interested to see how internally front offices would look at those kind of selections in the first round if you're getting 10 years out of your career. Like, that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not a bust draft. When you got 2/3 of them, or even more, maybe 75, 80%, 75%. Playing for a decade in the league or close to a decade in the league, that's very good. So, I'm kind of with you on this. I think you get graded by your draft. I think it's sometimes unfair to look back and say, like, most people would say Tyson Alualu was awesome if he made 2 Pro Bowls in his first 5 years.
For sure.
And then you never heard from him again. But I think most GMs and football people be like, this dude did his job for 14 years at a pretty good level. Like, I'll take that instead of 2 just really good seasons. I think fans would take the 2 really good seasons because they would remember it.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, Dante, to his, he had 11.5. That's a very, very good season. And then the 8 was good and a big part of sacks. Again, Dante, see, the reason why I always go back to that time frame and say the guys you invested in did not work out long term. But for 2017 to happen, Dante Fowler Jr. made a huge play. Tyrod Taylor had a concussion on the play in the Buffalo game, but it was a big play by Dante that led to that, I think. You got Fournette and what he did that year to help, even though long-term you would say, why did you pick him top 5? And then Bortles, who played very good football for a stretch to help you get there and deliver that season, and obviously long-term you wouldn't say top 3 pick.
Yeah.
So it's just we want everything blanket form where it's like, oh, that was bad. That sucked. Well, not really. I mean, there were a lot of things good about those guys contributed to that really good year. They just didn't contribute much after that.
Yeah. Well, you didn't
Jacksonville.
You didn't have the best optics either with Dante Fowler.
Well, there's a lot of that going on too, right? There's that plays into it, and that's why it's easier to take a guy like lean toward a Tyson Alualu in that sense than it is Dante, which is kind of interesting. It'd be fascinating to talk to Dante Fowler all these years later. How much has that guy matured? I've never really seen many interviews with him or anything else, but he was a young guy that obviously needed some maturing.
Yeah.
When he was in Jacksonville, and now 10 years later, he's been in the league for a long time. I want to take a time out. Let's take a time out. Whataburger Wednesday. Come back, talk more Jags football. What did you see? What did you miss? Or potentially at today's practice with the Bucs. How did it go? We'll show you some of the video if you missed some of it. First and 10 training camp, 11:15 on CBS 47, Fox 30 night. We will have that tonight and tomorrow, and then that's done for 2024 because camp's about to break pretty much. It's still technically training camp, but now we're in the middle of these game weeks. The feel of training camp is about ending, and I think it will really feel like it ended tomorrow when the Bucs are done practicing against the Jags. We'll be right back.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Building off a summer of terrific action at Southern Oaks Stadium, the Jacksonville Armada are looking forward to the future and the return of pro soccer in Northeast Florida. Season ticket reservations for MLS Next Pro are underway, and for just $100, you can lock in some great benefits when it comes to supporting the boys in blue. Those who make a reservation will have first selection options in the new Armada Stadium out east, near Jacksonville's downtown sporting complex, as well as access to supporter VIP events like stadium tours, open training sessions, and future meet and greets with players and coaches. You can make your season ticket reservations at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket. And while you're there, read the very latest on the Armada men's and women's teams in action this summer. Show your commitment to the fleet with an MLS Next Pro season ticket reservation at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket.
In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jacks team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot, any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
When I say it means something to me, gentlemen, it means something to me.
High school football is back and it's bigger than ever. Welcome to the Friday Night Zone Blitz.
It is bigger than a game.
Watch the biggest games each week live as the action unfolds with instant reaction and analysis from our Hall of Famer, Kevin Sullivan. It starts with live look-ins at the top matchups, including our Jaguars Prep Whataburger Game of the Week. And that is just the beginning of 4 straight hours of coverage. From 8 to 10:30, the Friday Night Zone Blitz is streaming on our Action News Jacks app and online. At 10:30, the Friday Night Blitz you know and love. A half hour of highlights from around the area. 11 o'clock, we shine the spotlight on the bands that pump up the crowd. 11:15, it's time to blitz through the highlights online and on air. Then 11:35, back to the stream to break down the night's results with a reaction from local coaches. 4 straight hours of high school football on the Friday Night Zone Blitz. Only on Action Sports Jacks 24/7.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to Spring Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays, here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Welcome back here to a Whataburger Wednesday here on the show. Brent Martineau along with Austen Lane, Jason Hamby. Jaguars and Bucks practicing today, and a spirited session out there. Good moments for the offense and hopefully for the defense as well. When I was out there, it was more offense that I was watching. Good crowd, and we'll talk to some of the local media after he's on the Bucs quarterback roster. Of course, Eric Armstead is back in media today. Ryan Nielsen talked earlier, and we're also catching up with Miles Cole, the late-round draft pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Warriors number 59, who had a pretty nice game the other day, who popped a little bit. So we'll have plenty of that for you on First and 10 training camp tonight, 11:15 on CBS 47. And Fox 30. A couple other things going on around the league. Finally, maybe on Brandon Aiyuk.
Yeah, there's rumors that the Steelers are going to make a play here. So, I mean, it's just rumors until we have some clarification, but it's sounding like the Steelers are definitely the favorite now to land Brandon Aiyuk. So, if Brandon Aiyuk feels like going to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, yeah, if I mean, he doesn't feel like going anywhere. It seems like Pittsburgh's a place he wants to go.
Yes.
So if they can get the deal done, it would be with the Steelers. What will be interesting here, based off the early reports of this week, is will it involve a guy like Minkah Fitzpatrick? My guess is whatever deal goes out there first to San Fran will not include Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
But could it get to that point would be pretty interesting. You mentioned something else. The Jags are worth even more.
All right, let me bring it up quick. Please hold. Go ahead.
40th in valuations of sports teams, and the eye-popping one was Jerry Jones. which probably didn't help his negotiations with CeeDee Lamb now that the Cowboys are worth over $10 billion.
Yeah. So
First sports team, by the way, to go over $10 billion mark.
This is Sport Tico or Sport ICO. It's the high-quality digital content company providing sports industry break data, information, strategies, leadership, and insight. I don't know like what constitutes the format they use, but basically this is how much each franchise is worth. And yes, the Jacksonville Jaguars are number 40. Now, we can play a little game if we want. We got some time. We got nothing better to talk about. Care to give me the top 5? Brent, you said the Dallas Cowboys already, but you and Hamby can feel free and play along 2 through 5. Who are the other top 5 teams in terms of net worth? And keep in mind, it's not soccer teams globally. This is United States sports in this country.
Yankees.
Yeah,
you got the Yankees. Yep. So you have the Yankees. Yep. Yankees number 3.
3.
They've been surpassed by an NBA team.
Really?
Yes. The Yankees coming in at $7.93 billion.
New York Knicks.
Nope. The Knicks are number 6. Nope. This NBA team is $8.28 billion. The Lakers are number 7. Knicks are number 6. Lakers number 7.
I'm going to throw one out here, even though I don't know if it makes sense, but I know they recently sold and maybe that helped or they had some sales stuff going on. Dallas?
No.
Mavericks?
No. They're number 48.
Yeah, I figured they should be high, but I was like, well, maybe there's something going on with some of the other things on that.
You guys are missing 2 NFL teams.
Well, the Celtics?
No. You're missing 2 NFL teams and then the NBA team.
Boy, if it's not the Lakers and it's not the Knicks in the NBA, I mean, can Golden State be worth that much?
Golden State is worth $8.28 billion.
Well, I tell you what, winning does matter then.
Right?
I mean, because now I get San Francisco. There's you got to go to those kind of price markets, I think, too, which is why the Dallas thing was kind of goofy for me to go to. But
star power helps too.
Star power and man, I guess winning. I would love to know where they were about 15 years ago.
For sure.
You know. Okay, so you guys are missing. That's Golden State's number 2. That's wild. They're more than the Yankees.
$8.28 billion.
You could have stumped a lot of people on that for
without a
been
doubt.
Here all day.
Yeah. 4 and 5 are NFL teams.
Giants.
Yep. Number 5. 4 is going to surprise you too. So, 4 surprised me. I don't know if it's going to surprise
LA Rams.
You. Yeah, nailed it. Yep. $7.79 billion. A couple surprises here on the list that I was kind of intrigued by. Tennessee Titans are 28th overall in all professional sports.
And you said the Jags are 40th.
They're 40th.
The Jags are actually, don't they have a higher valuation than a good amount of NFL teams? They're not like the lowest, right? Well, Green Bay sits in a different area.
So, yeah, I mean.
Who's behind the Jags?
Okay, so below the Jags are the Bengals.
There's got to be more.
There's
no way 31 of the top 40 are NFL teams.
I'm looking. The Bengals. The Saints.
Okay. Makes sense. How about Buffalo?
The Bills are 34th.
Really?
Yep. You got the Cardinals 37th, Lions 36th, Colts 35th, Bills 34th, Ravens 32nd, Panthers are 31st, which is crazy to me. The Browns are 30th, Chargers are 29th, Titans 28th.
Oh, so it is like 30 of the teams are of the top 40 are NFL teams.
Yeah. Vikings 26th, Packers 25th, Chiefs 24th, Broncos 23rd. Broncos are 23rd. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers 22nd, Steelers 21st, Seahawks 20th, Falcons 18th, Texans 17th.
Market. Top 5 market
I guess,
in the country.
okay. Bears 16th, and so on.
Okay.
Washington Commanders are 14th.
Yeah, that does make some sense to me. How about the one other thing? Are the Mets on there? Is it another baseball team or the Cubs?
So the Cubs are 27th.
Okay.
The high. I mean, so the Yankees are the highest. The second highest is the Dodgers at 15th.
Okay. And then the Cubs.
Then it's the Red Sox. Then it's the Cubs.
Okay. Those are,
Mets are 68th.
So I mean, really, like whatever that was, 28, 29, 30 of the top 40 valuations are NFL teams. That leaves room for a handful of NBA and a handful of MLB, not even, and then no NHL teams.
The first NHL team is 73rd.
How about Chicago?
For the NHL team?
Yeah.
No. They're in original 6.
Flyers.
Original 6. Toronto.
Bruins.
Toronto. You're Toronto.
So these are I thought it was just the United States. That's why.
Oh, I guess like professional
So
sports
North
in the
America.
country, North
Must
America
be
would
North
be.
America.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
No problem. Yeah, at the original 6.
Yep. Probably like the biggest shockers to me, a team that's ranked 114th in their NHL team, the Pittsburgh Penguins. Well, I just feel like Pittsburgh's a great sports town. Penguins have had success in like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Wild how they're ranked 114th at only a 1.07. I say only, but $1.07 billion valuation.
You know, it's a surprise. We have this conversation from time to time, but it's pretty amazing in many respects that we consider still big. Like if you look at the big four, and I don't know if everybody really does now. Like that's kind of an old way of saying, hey, the big four professional sports. It's an easy way to say it. But like at times, NASCAR, I think in the early 2000s became that. I think golf over times, like with Tiger and everything else, has become that more than the NHL. Now, the problem with the NHL is once you get to Canada, then it hits a new level. Mm-hmm. So if you do North America, but in the United States, like there's just, and these valuations show it, like the money in the NHL is so different than the money in all the other 3 sports. Like, it's not even close.
Yeah.
You said the first one, I think, was 78th?
The first NHL team?
73rd? Yeah, I think you said 73rd or 78th, something like that. I mean, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I mean, you almost got the entire other leagues. Let me throw this out at
you still have a lot of baseball teams that are
way down
below NHL teams.
Let me. How about Pittsburgh Pirates?
Pittsburgh Pirates are 99th.
Okay, so they're 99th though, and the best hockey team is 73rd.
Yeah, but then like the Rangers are 75th, Canadians are 79th, Blackhawks 83rd, Bruins 84th, the Kings of LA are 86th. Like, yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but like, there's still some teams ahead of the Pittsburgh.
Or just even go like this: the Penguins have been a way better organization for the Pittsburgh area. They're 116th, I think you just said,
correct.
And the Pirates are 99.
They're 114th.
114, and the Pirates are 99.
Yeah.
So it just shows you the money disparity. Mm-hmm. And Pirates haven't spent any money to make them even more valuable. Yeah. Probably could. So
they had a run in the 2010s.
A little bit. I mean, I think it was earlier than that with like way back. If you want to go with Bonds. But
no, I'm talking about the Pirates played a wild card.
Yeah, they got
against. I can't remember. They won like 90-something games.
That would have been what's his name, the outfielder, McCutcheon, led.
Yeah, but
right?
They had I forgot who their pitchers were. I don't know. Hamby, you can look at that.
But again, it wasn't a long run. I mean,
it wasn't a long run. But I'm saying like they had a little bit of a run.
Yeah,
yeah.
Here's the other thing about Pittsburgh's not a huge populace. It's not like a large market. I would consider it more on the medium-sized market, I think. Kind of like the Columbuses of the world, and even Cleveland's a bigger market than Columbus. Nashville now has become a bigger market, but it was like that medium-sized market. So, but like Philly's a huge market, right? Philly's a top 5, top 6 market, whatever it might be, where Pittsburgh is not that.
Correct.
Even though I think we kind of put the two next to each other because they're the two big places.
You just think Pittsburgh is a great sports town, though.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. Well, a lot of this is just you see it. LA, New York, Chicago, Boston. I mean, a lot of this is based on where your market is.
Okay, so Pittsburgh went to the wild card in 13, 14, and 15.
It went 3 years in a row.
Yes, I know my stuff, Brent.
That is a nice
Tell
run.
me I don't know my baseball knowledge. Not just talking out the side of my neck. And I think, and there we go. And in 2013, they had 94 wins.
Xavier Nady.
94 wins for your Pittsburgh
Nady?
Pirates.
Do you say Burnett too?
AJ
AJ Burnett. That's who I was thinking of. AJ Burnett.
Was that before Marlins or after Marlins? That would have been after.
After.
So he was a Marlins. Yeah.
In 13, they had AJ Burnett. Who else they had? They had 2 legit guys with him.
They had Russell Martin catching.
No, but I'm saying the pitchers. They had 3 great pitchers that year.
They have Liriano?
Yeah.
Francisco Liriano?
Yep. And then who's the other one? I can't remember. But I remember, like, because obviously
right
they
Garrett Cole.
play with the Brewers, so I was following them. You wish.
He was in diapers then.
Yeah, I know. But Yeah,
big,
needless
big
to say,
diapers, by the way.
Needless to say, because it was always like the Cardinals and Pirates.
Yeah,
during
I
that.
get it.
Yeah.
Hey, reset a little bit. Christian Kirk out of practice. Armstead back to work, but not necessarily full go at practice. Jags and Bucks. Hey, can we take a look at some of the video? Hamby, how about it? Hey, if you get a chance. The practice has wrapped up, and they'll get after it again tomorrow with the Bucks and the Jaguars. Short yardage stuff seemed to favor Bucks defense. This kind of work favored, I thought, the Jags offense. I think they got some good stuff done in the red zone and the passing attack. And even later, we'll not see, because these were closed sessions to the cameras and phones. Long touchdown to Brian Thomas, 11 on 11. Throw from Mac Jones to Elijah Cooks contested. He continues to make plays down the field, and I just really thought the Jags were pushing the ball down the field with that kind of work, even early from Trevor to Gabe Davis and some other things. So not everything was perfect, but overall, I thought the offense, when I was there, and I think some of the reports out of there even after I left, pretty sharp performance by Trevor and company.
Looks good. I mean, obviously that video, the Jaguars put that video out to Brian Thomas Jr. Looks great and everything. But I will say this, though. I may have started that video a couple seconds later because I believe it's Ezra Cleveland kind of gets pancaked a little bit.
Oh, does
And it probably would have been a sack, but still a nice throw and catch nonetheless.
Yeah, I think the offensive line going against this Bucks, I mean, the Bucks have a bunch of grown men now up front.
That's that's one of the things we're going to watch.
And I think that's still going to be a bit of a concern. I don't think you're loving everything you see. Now, Ezra Cleveland to Anton Harrison, they're just kind of working themselves back into practice. I mean, I don't mind giving people a break in practice, but I think the bigger part of that, I think they're going to be fine in pass protection. I think the bigger thing is this short yardage stuff. Is it going to be fixed? Can it be fixed? Like, what fixed it? Like, how are you fixing it?
Yeah.
If you have a lot of the people, is Mitch Morse enough to fix it? I don't think we can lose that storyline. And while there was a lot of good stuff the other night on Saturday, it was one of the negatives that fans had was 4 carries for 3 yards from ETN. They were pushing Pyle in the run game. So it's going to be something to watch.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a problem until it's not, quite frankly.
Is this going to be more of Doug Peterson or more of Trent Baalke if this offensive line shows more like they showed last year?
Yeah,
here we go.
Someone else saw that.
I think it's Ezra, but I can't. It's kind of hard.
That was on the Brian Thomas Jr. play you were saying that the Jags put out?
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it might have been Mitch.
Okay, maybe. Like I said, it's hard to tell, but to be fair, that probably wouldn't have been a touchdown.
Let me see.
They didn't blow the whistle. Yeah, go back and see. Well, yeah, we can't show the Jags one. Well, we probably could if we give them credit, but we're not going to. Yeah, I wonder who they have there. I mean, it could be. If it's Morse, it could be Vita Vea pushing him around, which wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah,
he's a monster.
Yep.
But yeah, you don't want to see it still. Are you?
Hey, the question though, man.
What was the question? Sorry.
Who's going to fall on more Trent Baalke or more Doug Peterson?
Good question. I think it's more on Baalke because he traded for Cleveland and said, "Okay, we're good after 7 or 8 games." You go sign Morse. Was that enough? Like again, Morse was not like. He has made a Pro Bowl, I understand, but it's also like he's not the elite center in the National Football League.
He's an upgrade from. We think he's an upgrade.
Absolutely, I believe that.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be fine. But he wasn't. I don't think he'll go. I don't think he's like a top 5 center in the league.
Who's number 76?
It's Ezra.
Okay, yeah.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
So Cleveland. Yeah. So Ezra Cleveland got.
It wasn't Vita Vea. I'm seeing who did it to him.
Now Hamby's burner says it looked like he got tripped on the play. Is that what it looked like to you?
I mean,
listen,
he got stiff on. It was one arm because whoever it was engaged also with Morse.
Yeah. So here's the deal on your question, and it's a good question. And I mean, the blame game's whatever. If it doesn't work, it's on him to some degree, and it might be on Phil Rauscher a little bit too. I mean, you've had a couple years now to get this group to get right, and haven't really done it if they don't do it. But Baalke and company also reworked Sherrill to say, okay, we think he's got more in the tank. So if Morse doesn't play well, that was a miscalculation. If Morse doesn't play well, he's a little older now and has some injury history. Ezra Cleveland, obviously, you tried that. You extended him with very little sample here. They've got plenty of sample of him playing in the NFL. And I think Cam's Cam. They weren't going to do anything. Well, you aren't going to move Cam at $21 million. And I think Anton Harrison's been pretty good. So he's a young player developing. I'm not going to probably fault you for those guys. But the interior was the problem last year. Did you do enough to fix it? I think that does fall back on probably the front office more than the coaching staff. But I don't think they're void of blame either. I mean, at some point, if you're going to have continuity, you're going to have 3 years of continuity. And while Morse comes in and Ezra wasn't a part of this thing from day one, these are veteran guys that should be able to figure it out along with players that have been there a while, like even the backup guys like Shatley and Walker Little and others. You've got to be able to get that thing better. And what we've really seen is maybe worse. Like last year was worse than the previous year. So if it doesn't get fixed, are we talking about a unit that's getting worse than better? That's on everybody. That's on coaching a little bit, but it's also on a miscalculation that you went with some old guys and they didn't have much left in the tank. Again, I'm writing a story in a bad way here. We have no idea how it's going to play out, but I think I'd put on the vision of the front office there.
Okay. And yeah, I see where you're coming from, but I also felt like in Philly, like Doug had like final say on that offensive line. Like I think Doug Peterson took great pride in that offensive line in Philadelphia. You know, I mean, I think he was a Lane Johnson guy, right? He was the guy that got Lane Johnson there.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, and listen, I don't know what the back, like the behind the closed door conversations entail, but I gotta feel like Doug Peterson really has a lot of say of what this offensive line looks like. Now, whether it was his idea to restructure guys, to bring in Mitch Morse, I'm not sure about that, but I also feel like Doug Peterson does have a lot of influence of what this offensive line can do. So, yeah, I mean, it's not going to fall to blame one person, but you know what we're going to do. If this, and once again, this is just speculation, if this offensive line doesn't produce like we think they're going to produce, someone's got to get blamed, if not more people. So.
Yeah, listen, it's a little bit of a risky move what they did. I mean, the Sheriff has not played his best ball of his career here in Jacksonville. That's fact. He can still get it done, but he's not an elite player like he was before he got
No, I mean, I think we were excited like when Sheriff came here, like, man, we might get an all-pro.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's kind of injuries. There's been other reasons, and some of that might be even Fortner. Like, maybe he works better with Morse. Like, I could see this thing working. Like, I can see what they bought into.
Sure.
Right? You upgrade the center position. Ezra Cleveland gets more action in there. Then you add Sheriff. You're like, okay, he's got another year. And then they'll hand off to maybe a Cooper Hodges or somebody like that. Again, I like Anton and where it's at. I get the Cam stuff. I think that's fine. I don't think he's like Laramie Tunsil, but I think he's certainly a good enough tackle to get the job done and has here in Jacksonville. So it's really about that interior. Will it mesh? And does it age too quickly? Like that's kind of the question, I think, because it should mesh. You have three guys that played a lot of football. In fact, I was thinking of this, and I haven't done it yet, so I wasn't going to do it as a topic until I've done the research, but what the hell? I'll bring it up. We'll look this up, or somebody else can and help the Brent Sports Bureau out. The Jags have to have one of the most veteran offensive line groups in the league, don't they? Now, I know Anton. He sets that back a little bit. But Ezra's played now for a few years. Cam's, what's Cam on, like year 8? Year 9? Something like that?
He was an 18 pick? Wait a minute here.
Hold on. I'll be able to tell you here in a second. I'll go through it. I got my sheet. If Cam is on year, what number is he? 74? He's on year 8. All right?
17 was his first year. Okay.
So, 17. I should have told you that. Sheriff is number 68. He is on year 11. No, 10. Shatley's on 11. Morse is on 10. So you have 10, 10, 8. Mm-hmm. And hold on, let me just get one here to finish this story.
It's probably 6 or
5.
Okay.
So 10, 10, 8, 5, and 2. Yeah, for Anton. And I get there are probably some grizzled offensive lines in the league that might be more common than I'm giving attention to.
Good word.
But that's a pretty veteran group.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they should be able to get the job done. I mean,
You'd think.
they should really be able to get the job done. I mean, they're grown men at that position. They're not pups other than Anton Harrison. And by the way, you can make the case the most consistent guy of all them, healthy and consistent, was Anton Harrison, who was their youngest player.
Yeah.
Now, again, Morse doesn't get calculated here. But that should be an advantage, Austin. Like, if you have 10, 10, 8, 5, and then a young guy that's played pretty well, you should look at that group and be like, that's an advantage.
Yeah.
Like, we should be better than you and you and you when we match up in that spot. And I'm not sure it is, but I also could see how it could be.
I mean,
if they play well.
Well, on paper, yeah, sure, it looks good because you have all this experience, but how long have they all played together?
Fair, and that's a hodgepodge.
Correct.
Right, and I understand that. I believe in that. I believe that you have to play together. But this is a group. I'll tell you this. I don't know how much they've played together because of varying factors, but most of this group, backups included, have been in the same team meeting room for a long time now.
Sure. Yeah.
So how much they've actually lined up next to each other. It's the thing that throws is, I mean, the left guard spot was a revolving door last year, so you didn't get consistency. And that's wedged between two players, and even Cam was in and out because of injury and suspension. Mm-hmm. And then Fortner, who was consistent, how much do you blame him? And is that the reason why the whole thing didn't work? So it's a very hard question to answer. But I guess I'm to the point now where it's like I used to believe, and I do believe. I believe that if you play together for a long time as an offensive line, obviously that's some huge advantage. And you need that chemistry and working together and everything else. I saw it. First time I ever saw that was in New York, where everybody complained about the offensive line for the Giants, but then they got to the point where they had played like 4 or 5 seasons together, and it really paid off. That's how they won their first Super Bowl, along with the pass rushers. But you do get to a point where you've played a lot of football. You got to be able to figure it out and mesh together when you've played 10, 8, 5 years in the league. Those are your 4 guys, you know?
Yeah.
And hopefully you can catch the young buck up quick enough. But I just can't use it as an excuse.
Catch the young buck up. The young buck's maybe playing better
and maybe playing better
than any of them, you know? I mean,
so yeah,
look what Anton Harrison's doing so far.
I would normally give, and again, I've been a defender of the offensive line over the years. I've liked it more than a lot of other people. And I think the reason I like it is because individually, I think they're good football players. For whatever reason, it hasn't meshed together. And let's just hope it was Fortner. With all due respect, I hate to pin it on one young man, but let's hope that was the biggest problem. And then, obviously, continuity, injury, all these other things that go into it are steadied out. And then Mitch Morse makes that much of a difference and makes Brendan Sheriff better. And Ezra Cleveland makes everybody else better and all the rest. But I do think it's going to be a concern until probably a month into the year. Mm-hmm. And again, pass protection to me is not that much of an issue. I think they're going to be okay there. Doesn't mean they're not going to give up a sack. They're going to be okay. But it's a matter of can they move people. And I think what you saw out there on the field a little bit today, again, is like that's still a question mark.
Yeah.
And we might really not know that until first couple games of the regular season. Hey, let's do this. Let's hit a break. But on the way to the break, we got to get our Georgia Bulldog report in for you Dogs fans up in Athens as we get closer and closer to the regular season. The number 1 team in the country going into 2024. Could be a long college football season up there in Athens. At least they hope so. Here's Action Sports Jack's Marcel Robinson.
That sound means that it's time for the Georgia Bulldogs Report, presented by the good folks at GW Outdoor Solutions. We're just about 2 weeks away from the Bulldogs football team opening up the season in Atlanta against the Clemson Tigers. Now, the Dogs hit the field for a scrimmage this past weekend, which means that fall camp is winding down in a matter of days. With plenty of top-tier players on both sides of the ball, there's no doubt that there was an iron sharpens iron mentality in Athens during these practice sessions. The team's expected to have a great offensive and defensive unit week in and week out on game days, and head coach Kirby Smart says that has been reflected in camp thus far.
I've seen both sides of it. I mean, it's one day it's one way, and the other day it's the other way. There's not been a dominant side of the ball, if that's what you're asking. There's been explosives, and then there's not been explosives. But at the end of the day, you know, both units have had glaring moments of like success and moments of not success. I mean, it's like every year. I can't sit here and tell you that one side of the ball has been explosive, and the other side has given them all up. It's a balance.
A few other notes out of Athens. Westside High School graduate Jordan Hall just can't catch a break. He was coming back, starting to run from a stress fracture in his tibia, and now he's dealing with the exact same thing on the other leg. Kirby Smart says that he's on a good timeline and this is not a long-term deal. On a more positive note, the running back room has looked really good in camp. No surprise there. The Dogs always have a hefty stable of running backs year in and year out. Now this one is a bit of a surprise. Smart says that the team is searching for proven playmakers in the defensive backfield. That's going to do it for the Georgia Bulldogs report, as always presented by GW Outdoor Solutions. Now the summer months are coming to an end, but guess what? It's still hot outside. You don't need me to tell you that. Let the good folks at GW Outdoor Solutions turn your backyard into paradise. Check out gwoutdoorliving.com for more information and to set up for your free estimate.
New to town or always been in town, everyone is always looking for a good pizza place. Our place is Donato's Pizza. We love it and still do love it. When I tell my family I'm coming to Donato's, they say, wait a minute, you got to order some for us. So this is not all for me. Let me tell you what the Martineaus get when we put an order in. Well, pepperoni pizza, we usually get more than one of these. And then there's the works, a little bit of everything. And then this is the pizza that can be polarizing for some out there. I don't know why. Hawaiian pizza, some love it, some don't. At Donato's, you're gonna love it, especially with that cinnamon sprinkled on top. Try the pizza my family likes or try your favorite. Right now you can use the code Brent20 and get 20% off your order. Every viewer and listener is important to us, and at Donato's Pizza, every piece is important. From fresh ingredients to the dedicated team members and you, the valued customer. Donato's Pizza, where every piece comes together for a winning combination. Jack's Beach and Mandarin locations. Donato's Pizza, every piece is important.
People helping people is at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From 1954 to 2024, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. That commitment includes a partnership with the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team as the presenting sponsor of all Armada men's and women's broadcasts this summer. Action Sports Jacks and Alive Credit Union, a partnership that just makes sense when it comes to covering Northeast Florida. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of our first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Right now, you can save $1,000 or more when you bundle the Connecticut Premier Softener with a Connecticut K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
For the game day hustle and every day in between. Juggling my show, Jag Social, to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive your passion.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service, a meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, there's our lineup today. It is Wednesday, right? You know what? My clock has been off because of the Saturday game. So the Jags, usually used to playing on Sundays. Yeah. And so I keep feeling like it's a day later than it is. And it's not. It's just in. So today we got Cup Date with Stuart Weber. That's at 1 o'clock, a week with Action Sports Jax with Olivia Tasley at 1:30, and then Stripe Show podcast at 2 o'clock. That's all on the way. And then Young and Norvell at 4 o'clock today. So hopefully you can check out the entire lineup on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. I did say kind of the fun thing that we have a day like today and tomorrow where we do get some video in, which we've shown you some at camp. It's nice that we don't have to play to just the ears in the audio audience. There are times where you wouldn't mind a little bit more of just the audio audience in the car or something like that. But we get to show you a lot. We've been able to show you a lot from today's show. We had a report before I got in here from the stadium and from the practice. So hopefully you follow along and go back and watch the show if you missed any of it. You can also check it out on YouTube, our Action Sports Jax channel, and all the different stuff that we have going on Twitter, X, Twitch as well, and Facebook. So there we are. We're everywhere. We fill every bucket. Fill a lot of buckets, which is good. NASCAR was crazy, by the way, the finish last week. So that show should be pretty good coming up in a couple minutes with Stuart Weber.
Proof that it's not my burner.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Hamby,
fellas,
for
make the workday bearable. Appreciate you both. Catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you for hanging with us. Hey, that was nice of you, Hamby. You were quiet for the last couple of minutes to be able to dial up that tweet.
That was nice, man.
We're glad we make your workday bearable
a little bit, man. Thank you very much.
Hamby.
I don't know if I'd agree with that sentiment.
Hamby, what time are you going to work? 4:30?
Yeah.
How's the new schedule? Pretty good?
Yeah, it's been great.
Not bad?
I didn't get any sleep last night just because my...
Of course you didn't. You're eating ground beef from a cup.
I saw. I heard a little bit. I caught the tail end.
Mm-hmm. It's just because
that led to cereal. That led to a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. It did. Yeah. Just because I don't know when to sleep.
Yeah, your clock is different.
Oh.
But 4:30 isn't bad.
No, it's not.
Like, really, that's not bad.
No.
What's not bad? Getting up at 4:30?
Well, being at work at 4:30. It's totally different than being at work at like 1.
Yeah.
I woke at 5, woke up at 4:30.
Like, a lot of people get up at 4:30.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, but a lot of people.
Ooh.
My mom always got up at 5.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I tell by the roads when I go in.
We're missing something.
I think there are a good amount of people that get up, like maybe 4:30 to 5 or something. What time do you work out?
Usually around 7. But like,
what's that? I thought you were even earlier than that.
Well, I used to be at 6.
Okay.
But now just like I don't have to go there. But I get up like around 6 o'clock.
But we haven't talked about that a lot. Like you get your fight's coming up.
Yeah.
You got everything's been announced. All that, everything's still on, right? For
We're golden.
October.
We're gravy. Yeah. The biggest thing now is where I'm going to be fighting at because supposedly the Apex might be closing down for renovation, so they might move us to the fight. I'm not sure yet. That's kind of the word in the street. So
what's going to be in the Apex, which is no fans.
Well, it's
fewer
like
fans.
Limited capacity.
Okay.
Meaning I can give you a ticket and then you have to stay and you can watch me and then you have to leave. Like they'll escort you out of there.
And
it's
in typical UFC or Austen Lane fight fashion,
we got something coming up, don't we?
I'm in London.
Oh, that's the London stuff.
Like every time this guy fights, he's somewhere.
That's
or I'm somewhere, or there's something else.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
Yeah.
So
and I might be going on the road a little bit doing the show from South Beach.
You said you're going to train a little bit down there, right?
Yeah, might be going with American Top Team doing some training with them as well.
Maybe you can pull in Calais or Jalen for a show.
I keep forgetting that Calais is in Miami.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's pretty wild. All this talk about 17 and everything, and the Jags are going to play them obviously in week number 1. Did you already talk Conor McGregor today?
No, but I mean it's not that it's kind of.
When was the last time he fought?
Been a while, man.
Like 3 years?
Probably.
It's pretty amazing, actually. He has stayed in, he's still the figure he is in some respects. The name catches my attention and everybody else's attention, despite not fighting forever.
Yeah, so last time he fought was Dustin Poirier back in 2001.
No, 21.
I'm sorry, 2021. Sorry. 2021.
But 21, it's been that long.
Been a long time. Yeah.
I tell you what, selling that whiskey, man. I guess I keep you in the spotlight.
He's killing it. Yeah, he's got all the money in the he doesn't have to fight anymore, but he's doing movies now and everything.
Yeah.
He's in Roadhouse, so he's doing just fine.
All right. Fun show today. We're back at it tomorrow. We'll have the Bucs and the Jags. We've got First and 10 training camp tonight, 11:15 on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
Scrap House 7 o'clock. Check it out.
Oh, that's right. Have a good day.